on the gridiron or courtside, you know what time it is. It's
Sports plus life. Sports plus life.
ringside or front court or field pass, we ballin', no. Knuckle up or buckle up, I tell it like it is when I'm on my show. Home run, slam dunk, knockout, or got to go.
Sports plus life.
Yeah.
Sports plus life.
Ah.
Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's really good? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. You feel me? And you already know what's going down today, bruh. So, guess what? Guess what? Turn it off, turn it off, turn it all the way off now. Yeah, how's everybody doing today? Oh, yes. Please allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life, that there sports podcast where we talk about all of the necessary topics in sports and all of the necessary topics in life. And I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. It's kind of cloudy, little ugly day, little chilly day out here in the Richmond, VA, but you know, it is what it is. And today is Monday, February 27th, 2023, and had a good weekend. Once I got off work Saturday, had a good weekend. Yesterday was cool, was doing a lot, as I tend to always keep myself busy on Sundays, always do, even though I be in the house most of the time. But took the kids out, do a little clothes shopping, went deep run park, you know, things like that. You know what I mean? You know, NFL's over. Got to keep myself busy. Even though I must say the world of entertainment and television has come through clutch for me and will come through clutch for me into the summertime. Really, it's gonna be the summertime. That's gonna be the boring time on television. But before we get into the realm of sports, I you guys remember my dude, Mr. Anonymous? So I think Mr. Anonymous may join us today. And he's joining us today because he hit me up, you know, on Saturday saying that there was something that, you know, he needed to, that he just wanted to talk to me about. So I have him now. Mr. Anonymous, what's up, my guy?
What's going on, bro?
Oh, man, you tell me. How's everything going?
Everything's been going smooth, man. Just working, just chilling right now. No complaints.
No complaints. That's good to hear. So, you hit me up on Saturday, and I'll let you take it from. And this is when I say anonymous. This is before we get into the realm of sports. You know, we have these conversations that sometimes we say, you know what, we need to address this on a broader listening audience scale. So you take it from here, sir. What was your phone call about on Saturday?
Yeah. So I know we were just catching up about some other things, and then I was just telling you a story about, a mutual friend of ours and, Mr. Anonymous as well. So basically, we were just saying, I was filling you in on, him actually, coming out on top in the situation of, a female tried to, pin a baby on him that wasn't his. So it ended up getting his DNA done, the blood work and stuff done after the baby was born. Come to find out, it was 0% paternity. So, obviously he's not the father. So, we were just rapping about that and, how much relief he felt from that situation. And, I confided in my friend. I said, hey, look, man, like, don't treat me any differently about what I'm going to tell you. But, you know what I'm saying? This is what's been working for me. In case of something, coming up, because I've had experiences like that as well, where maybe a female may come back to me and say things like, oh, well, or like a friend of that person might mention, oh, she's 2 months pregnant or she's 3 months pregnant or something like that.
So what you're trying to say is that you're trying to, so a mutual friend of ours, it was brought to his attention that he possibly may have fathered a child, and he took the paternity test, and he was not the father. Maury Povich, you are not the father. So, and so you're giving advice on basically being more responsible, as you know, strapping up, this, that, and the third, or what works for you, a method that works for you, because you yourself have experienced times where females have came back and said, hey, there might be a bun in the oven and it might belong to you, correct?
God damn it! Right.
Okay, all right, Go ahead.
Yep. So for me, I mean, and I'm not trying to sound like, a piece of shit or anything, but for me, I was letting Brevon here know, you know what I'm saying? Like, what I've been doing is I've been utilizing, my Google Calendar. For me, So after any encounter, for me, I'll just log what day it happened on, name of the person, the name of the person, and so if they try to hit me with, oh, she's 3 weeks or 3 months, or I can scroll back to the time of the day that we had some fun and decided, well, it's not me. We're good.
Okay. So wait a minute. Wait. So basically, what I want the listeners to understand is Mr. Anonymous keeps a record book. He keeps a Doug Funny journal every time he has sexual intercourse with a female. He jots down the information on the day he did it and the person he did it with for personal records, just in case this female later on in life comes back and says, hey, I'm this amount of weeks pregnant, and he goes back to his calendar, and when he and if the days and the time don't add up, then he can completely say no. Biatch. Or if it does add up, he may say, okay, perhaps, maybe, yeah, depending on how many dudes you slept with during that time period.
Yo, killing me with this.
Now, okay. When you hear that, once you get over the initial laughter,
What's wrong with you?
it's actually a very smart idea.
You niggas are crazy.
Just the whole part. I can only imagine what your Google account looked like.
Yo, chill.
So again, explain again to our listening audience why you do this.
For me, it's just,
Explain again in greater detail. Let's give an example.
Okay. So let's see. I had a recent, running one. I already knew, I knew it had been a while in my mind anyway. So person I had, ran into the sibling of a person I used to kind of hang out with and talk to, and that person was like, hey, when's the last time you hooked up with my sister? And I was like, I don't know, it's been a while. Why? And she said, oh, well, she's a couple months pregnant. I said, oh, okay. She said, she gave me a number. She said like 2 months or something like that. So, of course, I said, oh, okay. Pulled out my Google Calendar. I scrolled back, and it had been since July. So I'm getting this information in January of this year, and 2 months pregnant in November. I scroll way past that point to July. Oh, there she is. There she is. No, it's not me. That's a good example. Like, oh, not me.
Look,
not that I don't have a heart. It's just, I'm not. And I was joking with Brevon here. I told him I'm not a whore, man. I just, just like people to know, like, if you track yourself, man.
Hey, look. Hey, look. It's not about being a whore.
Bye, bitch.
Okay. Just the whole Dear Journal, on July 17th, 2022, I had sexual intercourse with said female. Dear journal, I don't think I used protection. Okay. And then in the background, do 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 do. No, but it's not about being a whore. It's about actually, look. Now, some people might find this offensive. Oh, you putting my name down. Oh, so I'm just in your little hit list, huh? I'm just in your hit list, huh? I'm just a statistic, huh? Not really. Even though it may come across as you being a statistic. And the funny part is that, hey, look, sometimes when men gather, sometimes particularly when single men gather, we have these conversations about, hey, how active have you been over the past year? My man's here has a record book. He has receipts for every piece of nay that he gets. He has names, dates, and times. But in the case of somebody coming up and saying, hey, I might be pregnant, that actually is a very intelligent move. Because it's just covering your tracks. It's just like if you're having a custody battle and you want to prove to a mediator or a judge that you provide for your kids. When you buy shit, you keep the receipts, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You keep the receipts. That's all he's doing. So what we were talking about amidst a bunch of laughter on Saturday is that my man's might have stumbled on to something. Whether it's a Google account or whether it's a personal notebook, what was the idea that you had when we were talking about this for a half an hour, mostly covered in laughter. But what idea did we come up with, sir?
So, I mean, you have all these different avenues for, women to track their stuff, like when their periods are, how frequent they are, whatever the case is. We have all these workout apps now. You can track how much you run, how much you work out. You can track what you eat nowadays. I mean, I figured, there should be something there for us as men, where we can maybe jot down, maybe have a filter on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had unprotected sex that day, or protected, or you can even put in there that the condom broke, or should be some type of filter, and we were just joking back and forth. Me and we're talking about, like, we were talking about, like, everybody's seen, like, the play, or whatever you want to call it, the Nutcracker, you know what I'm saying? So, we talked about, maybe an app, being called the Nut Tracker, something like that. Maybe there's something out there,
Allow me to repeat that. The app would be called the Nut Tracker. Okay, not the Nutcracker, the Nut. The Nut Tracker. Okay, here's what would be the basis of the app. Okay, it would be like a ledger, a journal, a calendar of some sorts, where every time you have sex with somebody, it will have a segment where it says date. You put the date, you put the person's name, and then you'll have two check boxes where it says protection, where it says one says use protection, and the other box says raw dog. And then we'll have a third box a few steps down that says other, which means condom broke, whatever. Condom broke, female swallowed the condom, whatever. I mean, but you got to admit, if you want to keep your bases covered, now the most important thing, men, if you were to do this, you cannot lie to yourself about your sexual activities or inactivities. Which means if you are consistently having sex with one person, you need to jot down each and every time that you did it. You can't say, I didn't do it this, that, not when you know you did. Okay, so the most important thing about using the Nut Tracker is truth.
It's true.
It's truth. So that way, if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I'm 6 weeks pregnant, but you look back in your calendar and saw that you had sexual intercourse 12 weeks ago, your math doesn't add up. That means you are 2 months. That means you are a month and a half pregnant, but I had sex with you 3 months ago. That means there's a whole nother 6 week period of time where you were being active with somebody else. That's all we're saying. Look for it soon. The Nut Tracker. Now, what do you think? What do you think the icon should be for that?
Well, we can't take the Acorn icon because I think a stock account or app uses like Acorn. I think it's called Acorn or something. We couldn't use that. I don't know, man. Maybe we could put a squirrel on that motherfucker. A squirrel holding an acorn.
Oh, you know what? What you could get is you could use a 2-sided peanut, right? You know, when you get, the peanuts where you have to crack them open, and sometimes you have two of them, but one of the peanuts has already been taken out and eaten.
Good. Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, for real, you have a peanut where one side has been eaten and the other side is full. And maybe the other side the side that's full have little black marks coming out of it.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, man, a couple different avenues, man.
You looked up the information on how to get that started?
Yeah, I already sent that off. Sent the information off.
That's what I'm talking about, man. See, I'm serious. Men, and I to any woman who finds this offensive, I'm terribly sorry. Yep. You could do the same thing. You could very well do the same thing. Hey, this isn't just a man thing. The Nut Tracker is not just a man's app. It could be a woman's app too.
Yeah.
Because if you're a sexually active woman and so now this may put Maury Povich out of business, but but hey, ladies can use it too.
Yep.
But the biggest part about it is you cannot look. You can lie to anybody else, but you shouldn't lie to yourself.
Exactly.
Don't lie to yourself.
And in the coming market, there's always going to be jokes made about any type of app you use. You look at it now, the memes that they have on now, like when that person falls asleep and you go through their phone, now there's going to be apps that, when your man falls asleep and you go through his Nut Tracker app. And you find things you didn't want to find out. Right?
and see, that's the problem. See, that would be the only issue, which don't have nothing to do with us, because again, if you in a relationship and your Nut Tracker is full of different names, then you just not doing right by your significant other.
Anyway.
Okay. So if you look in your man's Nut Tracker, or you look in your woman's Nut Tracker and you see names that ain't yours, then that's a problem. But again, the biggest thing is truth. You have to tell the truth. If you only having sex once every 9 months, then damn it, that's the truth.
Yep.
But if you're only having sex every once in 9 months, and you have sex once, and then 9 months go by, and the last person you had sex with come to you talk about something, she's 6 months pregnant, that math ain't right, boo-boo.
Huh?
Nope.
Yep. You have to be truthful in that app. You have to.
You have to. And every time, and here's another thing we should do. Every time you fill out the calendar accordingly, where you got date, name, you got one of the checkbox checked, whether it's use protection, raw dog, or other. As soon as you hit submit, you should hear the Yin Yang Twins come on and just say, "Oh, ski motherfucker, oh, ski goddamn." That should happen every time you hit submit.
There you go. That's truth, man.
Or maybe a grunting sign, maybe something like that. Okay. All right. How you doing otherwise, bro?
I'm doing good, brother, man. I ain't making no noise.
You ain't making no noise yet, man. Yeah, man. Me neither, man.
No noise. I appreciate you inviting me on here to share.
Hey, man, that's important conversation right there, okay? That is definitely important right there, all right? I'm serious.
Yeah, man.
because hey, look, that's a cash cow waiting to happen, bro.
Yeah.
We gotta make that happen.
Yep. Already sent off some info, figure out what's going on there, and, just going to see where it takes me now.
Yes, sir.
To invest it now, I got to see where it takes me.
Yes, sir. And for the listen audience, this was a joint creation, okay?
Yep. That's right.
My laughter and the side jokes that I threw in contributed to the creation of the Nut Tracker.
You will be compensated.
All right, bro. Well, I'm gonna get on with the show. I just this is the start of the show. So when I send this to you, you are at the very beginning, sir.
All right, man. I look forward to seeing it come out, man.
Yes, sir. And we have definitely got to spread this one.
Yes, sir.
Not like COVID, but we got to spread this one.
We have to spread this one, man.
Yes,
Everything
sir.
out, everything on the table, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, let me get at you,
All right.
dog.
All right, big dog.
Yes, sir. Later on.
Later.
Hey, Shamrock the Block. Shamrock the Block.
Yes, sir. March 11th.
Yes, sir. And then Mona Lounge.
On the lounge at night.
Yes, sir. All right.
I'm in there.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
All right, bro.
All right.
Later. Now, look, y'all may think that's just being goofy on top of goofy on top of goofy. And a part of that is. But, you got to give a good idea credit when a credit is due, okay? So, I mean, think about it now. How many, you have people who, these situations happen far too often. I'm pregnant, I may be pregnant, and especially, unfortunately, if you're bringing it up to a person who you're not in a relationship, who is not your only sexual partner. That way you can keep a timeline. You can keep a timeline of when said nut was busted, okay? You can do that. You can keep a time frame, keep a calendar, keep a journal, and you can keep it in this app called the Nut Tracker of said time when nuts were busted, and that way you can cover your tracks. But you can't just stop at one. You can't lie to yourself. If you busted multiple nuts, then you need to keep track with how many you did. So, either you know that you are, that there's a possibility that you are, or without the shadow of possibility you ain't. So it is what it is. Now, with that being said, who is ready for the realm of sports? I'm ready. You ready? We ready? They all ready. Let's get to it. Okay. I'm going to start in the NBA. I am not going to actually start with the Lakers' amazing 27-point comeback against the Dallas Mavericks yesterday. I'm not going to start with the overtime game between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm going to start with this man up in Portland, Oregon. Did you see Dame Dollar drop 71 points last night? Albeit against the Houston Rockets. Who cares? 71 points is 71 points. Dame Dollar is a walking bucket. Okay, he dropped 71 points, and he needed to drop 71 points as the Portland Trail Blazers defeated the Houston Rockets last night, and Damian Lillard became only the 8th player in NBA history to have a 70-point bucket. This is the second time this season that we've seen a player go for 70-plus points this season. Donovan Mitchell was the first person to do it for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And people are saying, hey, yo, why are defenses looking so terrible? Well, I mean, yeah, defenses have looked absolutely horrible during this stretch of NBA basketball, during this era of NBA basketball. But I don't give a damn what you say. 70 points is 70 points. Okay, 70 points is what it is. It is as special as it sounds. Damian Lillard. And the thing about it is, he dropped 41 points in the first half. Did you hear what I said? He dropped 40 in the first half. You rarely see scoring outbursts like that. I'm from a time where I've seen Michael Jordan drop 35 and a half. I have seen Kobe Bryant drop 50 and a half on Michael Jordan. That day, I swore Kobe was going to go for 100. But it was an ass whooping. He was. I don't know if Phil Jackson was going to let him do that to Michael Jordan. But I've seen Kobe go for 81. I have seen David Robinson go for 72. I have seen Donovan Mitchell go for 71, and last night Dame Dollar went 22 for 38, 13 of 22 three-point shots. Now, the crazy thing is that in the second half, Houston went all out double team, saying, you ain't finna put an 80 burger on us. You ain't finna put a 90 burger on us. And that in tune made the game tight. The score was 131-114. While that may sound like a convincing win in today's NBA, as I said once I first started talking about basketball, I'm not going to lead off with the Lakers coming back from a 27-point deficit. A 17-point deficit, a 17-point win may look convincing. A 17-point lead in the game may look convincing. But in this realm of the NBA, that is nothing. In the three-point era of the NBA, that is nothing. Damian Lillard shouts out to you, bro. And the thing about it is, Donovan Mitchell put up his 71 points for the Cleveland Cavaliers, albeit impressive, albeit legendary. He did that in an overtime game. Damian Lillard put up 71 points in regulation, in 4 quarters of regulation basketball. That is sick. That is insane. That is crazy. So, now, as far as the Portland Trail Blazers standing goes, they are still a half game up on the Los Angeles Lakers in the 11th spot, as again, you're trying to get to the top 10 spots. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a fan of the play-in. I'm not a fan of this let's get to the number 10. I'm not a fan of that. Even though it may benefit my Los Angeles Lakers, I'm just gonna tell you the God's honest truth, in my opinion. I don't like it, but it is what it is. It's keeping teams relevant, some teams who don't deserve to be relevant. But in the Western Conference, it's so crazy. The Oklahoma City Thunder right now sit at 13th. The Los Angeles Lakers sit at 12. The Portland Trail Blazers sit at 11. Portland has 31 losses. The Lakers and the Thunder both have 32 losses. They are just 3 games out of the 4th spot in the Western Conference. So that's just how bananas the Western Conference is right now, okay? The only team that's head and shoulders above everybody in the West right now is the Denver Nuggets, who outlasted the Los Angeles Clippers in overtime last night. Russell Westbrook has started playing for the Los Angeles Clippers, and I know there are going to be people out there, see, the Clippers have now started losing since they got Russell Westbrook. I ain't going to go that far. The teams that the Clippers have lost to, speaking of no defense, they lost an overtime game to the Sacramento Kings with an all-star game type score. It was 177 to 176, something crazy like that. But Sacramento is currently the 3rd seed. Then they lost to the Denver Nuggets, who are currently the 1 seed. The Clippers are going to be the tough out. To me, the Los Angeles Clippers right now are one of the 3 best teams in the Western Conference, being the Denver Nuggets, the Phoenix Suns, once Kevin Durant makes his debut for the Suns, and then the Los Angeles Clippers. I think the Clippers are better than the Memphis Grizzlies. I think they're better than the Sacramento Kings. Now, do I think the seeding at the end of the day for the Western Conference will pan out? Denver 1, Phoenix 2, Los Angeles Clippers 3. I do not. I think that Memphis will maintain a number. Well, no, I actually think Phoenix will catapult to the number 2 seed once KD gets there. Possibly, well, maybe more realistically, the number 3, because that means Memphis would have to have quite a drop-off. But I do believe the Suns will catch the Kings and become the number 3 team in the West, and I believe the Clippers will go to number 4, and I said the Clippers will go to number 4. Yeah, I think the Kings will end up dropping to the 5th spot. That's what Laker fans are hoping for. The Laker fans, such as myself, are hoping that the Sacramento Kings stay at number 3 and we can get to that 6th spot and have to deal with them in the first round, where we'd be favored. Anybody who plays the Sacramento Kings, despite the fact that they will be in the playoffs, I believe, because they're a great story. Mike Brown should be Coach of the Year. They will be in the playoffs for the first time since 2006, but whoever they play will be favored to beat them in the series. But again, shout out to Damian Lillard. You have a lot of work to do. I don't think Portland will be in the playoffs. I don't think Portland will make the play-in. I could be wrong. But even if they make the play-in, I don't believe that they are going to get into the playoffs. I salute Damian Lillard for his loyalty to that franchise, who has compensated him very handsomely. And the thing that's still, I mean, it's this. I guess this is the landscape. This is just the landscape of the NBA today. Portland used to be a powerhouse team who was on TV all the time. Now it's not the case. You don't really pay much attention to a team out in the Pacific Northwest, but I remember those great Portland Trail Blazers teams that were in the early 90s who were going to NBA Finals. Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter, Kevin Duckworth, Jerome Kersey, Buck Williams. These guys were like that. Even and then fast forward a decade later to the Portland Trail Blazers, who had Rasheed Wallace, Steve Smith, J.R. Rodder, Arvydas Sabonis, Damon Stoudemire. Those Blazers were on TV all the time. Scottie Pippen, when he left the Bulls and went to the Blazers, they were on television all the time. So it kind of, when I hear, well, there's not marketability, well, it depends on how much effort you put into marketing that team. Because when the Portland Trailblazers were a juggernaut in the Western Conference, they were on TV a lot. You knew who they were. They were a stacked team all the time. They were always a bugaboo for the Los Angeles Lakers, even though we used to beat them all the time in the playoffs. They would be wars, but they used to beat them all the time. Lakers, whether it was Magic or whether it was Shaq and Kobe, we used to beat them all the time in the playoffs. Now, perfect segue over to my Los Angeles Lakers, who came back from 27 points yesterday. They were down 27 points and defeated the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas. Now, I'm not going to lie. Forgive me, Laker fans. When the Mavericks were up by 27 points, I left the house. I said, man, we're supposed to be making a playoff push, and we going to come and play like this? And then my Uncle Tuck, who sent me a text around 6 o'clock saying, AD said, give me the ball and get out the way, damn it. I was like, yeah, I'm sitting there. I was going to text him back, yeah, because we got crushed, but I was at the park at that point in time. But then I looked at the scores. I said, wait a minute, we won? I said, hold up. I said, we came back and we won this game? Get out of here. Ain't no, and sure enough, Anthony Davis, 30 points. LeBron James, 26 points. Jared Vanderbilt, 15 points, 17 rebounds. Elite defense. Dennis Schroeder, 16 points. Now, if you're Dallas, you're only 1-3 with Luka and Kyrie. Don't sit here and blame Kyrie for this, people. Don't do it. Because from when I watched the game again last night, because I did rewatch it, I did DVR it. How much time did Luka Doncic spend complaining to the officials while play was going on? He's the one who bobbled the pass on that final possession. Don't sit here and blame Kyrie Irving and say, see, Kyrie, the Kyrie Irving effect. Don't do that. I don't think so. I said when this trade first happened, I said I didn't believe it was going to work because you have nobody to play defense. You don't. You have nobody to play defense. You'll have great offense from Kyrie, from Luka. You'll have great offense from Tim Hardaway Jr. coming off of the bench. But the bottom line is that, does Dallas scare anybody in the West? Nope. I know they made the Western Conference last year. So what? That was last year. Now, as far as the Los Angeles Lakers go, they're on, a 3-game win streak? I mean, they've looked very good since these trades, since we've gotten D'Angelo Russell, who unfortunately didn't play last night. He had kind of a freak injury against the Golden State Warriors where he just stepped back, literally stepping to take the ball out of bounds and kind of rolled his ankle, stepped on a Golden State Warrior player. I hope D'Lo gets back soon because we need him. LeBron tweaked his foot yesterday too. So if we're going to make any type of playoff push, if you're a Los Angeles Laker fan, you have got to have D'Angelo Russell. You've definitely got to have LeBron James. And I swear, every time Anthony Davis hits the damn floor, I hold my breath hoping that he gets up and just runs as normal. I pray he doesn't grab his leg, grab his knee, grab his shoulder, grab his neck, whatever. Because every time Anthony Davis hits the floor, I'm scared. I am in fear that something is going to be wrong with said broski because he is brittle. But we shall see. We definitely shall see. In the Eastern Conference, man, hey, look, coming off of the All-Star break, there have been some very, very, very high intense competitive games, and this is what I'm talking about. This is what makes the NBA, not to be corny, this is what makes the NBA fantastic. But the problem is we don't get enough of that throughout the season. But I'm going to take it for what I can get it right now. The Eastern Conference, the Philadelphia 76ers, they had a great game against the Memphis Grizzlies where they came back to win, but then lost a crazy game to the Boston Celtics on Saturday night. I'm talking tie game. Jason Tatum hits a 3 at the top of the key. Joel Embiid, they inbound the ball to Joel Embiid. He shoots the ball from 70 feet away and swishes it. But the shot left his hand about a half a second too late. So it couldn't. So the game couldn't go into overtime. And Boston ended up winning. And Boston has to win every single game. Why? Because the Milwaukee Bucks have not lost. The Milwaukee Bucks have not lost in a while. Let's see. They have won 14 straight games. Giannis didn't play, so they're winning games without Giannis because now look, you ain't got to worry about load management with him. If he hurts, something is wrong. He collided knees first game off of the All-Star break, so he has a quad contusion. and also the wrist issue that he was dealing with right before All-Star break. But, I ain't worried about Giannis. I know if that brother can play, he gonna play. But the Celtics have a half-game lead on the Bucks for number 1 in the East, and that will be number 1 overall. They're 44-17. The Bucks are 43-17. Now, the Boston Celtics have been playing great, but when it comes to who I think is getting out of the Eastern Conference, I'm going to stay consistent. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are. I understand that Jason Tatum has ascended to superstar status, and Jaylen Brown also super. A lot of people don't want to give Jaylen Brown superstar. I'm giving Jaylen Brown superstar, but Giannis to me is the best player in the world. Okay, and Drew Holiday has turned back into an all-star. The more Middleton plays, the more he will get back into all-star form, and they are tenacious on defense. Brook Lopez, one of the league leaders in block shots. Drew Holiday is an all-world defender. I don't like Grayson Allen. I'm gonna put it as well. I do enjoy watching the Milwaukee Bucks play. There's one player I do not like. I don't like Grayson Allen. He can play some defense, but to me, he's a dirty player. I'm just waiting for the day when somebody just hauls off and punches him in the goddamn face. I swear I wish this was 90s basketball specifically for him, because to me, he is a dirt ball of a player, but he is on the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Philadelphia 76ers, they're going to be a tough out. Like that second round series, because I'm telling you, the top three is Boston, Milwaukee, Philly. There's going to be a dogfight to who wins, who gets the top spot, whether it's whether it's Milwaukee or whether it's Boston. I believe Philly's going to stay in that 3 spot. And whether Philly has to play Milwaukee or Boston in that second round is going to be a war. That's going to be a war, assuming Philadelphia gets past the team that's in the 6th seed now, which is the New York Knicks, who I actually believe the Knicks will jump the Brooklyn Nets into a 5 spot. So, yes, I am totally locked in on NBA. Now, as far as college basketball goes, it was a bad week for my Virginia Cavaliers. And I was sitting there pumping my chest, talking about NCAA title, and, look out for us. Here we coming, blah, blah, blah. And the Cavaliers just laid 2 eggs this past week. I believe they'll bounce back. But losing to Boston College, a team under 500, I can take the North Carolina loss. But the Boston College loss, they fell from 6th to now 13th ranked in the country. Deservedly so. You don't look like that and think you're going to stay a top 10 team. I do believe UVA will bounce back against Clemson and against Louisville on Saturday. I believe they'll finish the regular season 23-6. They've dropped from 1st to 3rd in the ACC. They came in the last week 1st. Now they're 3rd. I believe the Cavaliers will finish 23-6. But damn, you can't. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they can leapfrog a team and get the double bye and the getting one of the first 2 seeds in the ACC. We shall see. Okay, now, I done got the callers now. I remember last week I told you guys I was going to get Calvin and Sean on the phone because of the conversation me and Big C had. Well, that is now a reality. What up, Sean? What up, Calvin?
What's good?
What's up? What's going on?
Ain't nothing much. Now, I was just talking about basketball, so I'm going to totally transition now to football before I get back to basketball, because just want y'all opinion on Dame dropping 71 last night. But you can call me Don King. You can call me an instigator. I don't give a damn. Calvin, when we talked about, I asked you a question last week saying who had the easier path to the Super Bowl, the Chiefs or the Eagles, and you made some comments on the Philadelphia Eagles. I said, I got to put you on the phone with Sean. Sean has heard that. And now you guys can hash that out.
I ain't got shit to say. Everybody can see. Everybody knows what the hell see on my team. We play NFL season. Everybody gets paid a paycheck to come in the NFL to play fucking NFL football. The best of the best. I don't give a fuck what team it is. If you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they ain't playing nobody. Who they play? The Buffalo Bills and all that shit. Who they supposed to be this year? The AFC West, who wasn't supposed to be who they were this year. Everybody said they were going to be the shit, but they turned out to be nothing. My division has damn near the best division in fucking football, who only got the Commanders got put in the damn league and shit like that. So, I mean, all that shit that's talking about, even when we played the Chiefs, in the Super Bowl, who was supposed to be the best of the best. It was a damn dogfight. The best two teams made it to the NFC Championship. All that, who the fuck, who y'all play, what quarterbacks y'all play, Brock Purdy. Everybody thought Brock Purdy was going to be the shit. Every team we played, we made look like dog shit regardless of what the fuck they had on their team, who the fuck was playing. We made them look like dog shit. The coaching was the biggest thing in the NFC. Yes, our coaches, our defensive coordinator was not shit, could not adjust. Andy Reid, damn near one of the best coaches, well, should be named damn near the best coach out there with who he did for the Philadelphia Eagles and what he's doing for the Kansas City Chiefs. Outside of Bill Belichick right now, Andy Reid is like one of the top tier best.
I would say that. I would say outside of Belichick is now Andy Reid. I think he broke the tie with Tomlin.
You can't even get a quarterback, an offensive coordinator, a job under him because everybody thinks that Andy Reid is doing it, which everybody knows Andy Reid is the one that does everything. So, and we took that team to the limit at the end, which we should have won anyway, based on a lot of calls and shit like that. But we ain't gonna talk about that shit. We took them to the limit. Our MVP quarterback did what the fuck he was supposed to do. All the doubters and all that shit. Every time he does something, there's another obstacle in his way of, oh, who did he play? Oh, well, he got all these weapons. Oh, he did all that. Yeah, yes, he got weapons. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to build around a young quarterback and give him weapons so he can succeed in the fucking NFL. Don't get mad at us that we was putting teams out at the beginning of the game, whatever the fucking score is that y'all talking about. We sitting my motherfucking quarterback down and letting Gardner Minshew come in the fucking game. No, we don't have to score 550 goddamn points. You want to know why? Because we dogging niggas at the beginning. If you look at the fucking deficit that we had on people in the second fucking quarter, we could do whatever we want to and run the ball out to the game. We didn't have to do shit. We didn't have to do shit. We didn't have to fucking put in dog fights because we was whooping people ass all first half and we just ran the ball. Look at the damn stats. That's why all my motherfucking receivers went to damn near 1,000 yards. That's why my running back damn near had 1,000 yards. That's why my quarterback broke all kind of franchise records. You want to know why? Because we was dogging niggas the whole goddamn year. So all this, who the fuck you was playing, we played a lot of goddamn teams. A lot of people who get paychecks and got their goddamn ass whooped by the Philadelphia fucking Eagles. Holla at your boy.
Hoorah! All right, Calvin, what you got to say, bro?
No, I was waiting for him to finish. You finished?
I ain't never finished. As soon as you got something to say, I got something to say again.
Okay. Well, that was, I'm going to be honest with you, that was moving. Like, you had me like, ooh. But if you Google it, who the easiest schedule in the NFL in 2022, number 2 is the Eagles. Okay? And 8 of your 14 opponents was at 500 or lower. I think 6 of them was like 10 lost teams. Now, I never said they weren't good. Your team wasn't good. I'm just saying the people that y'all manhandled, y'all did beat the shit out of them people. But hey, that's what y'all supposed to do. Like I said.
Okay, with the team that we had, we supposed to beat people ass. And it looked easy because
wait a minute, I let you have all that. I ain't say a word.
You asked me open-ended questions, motherfucker. I'm gonna talk.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You said look at the stats. That's what we looking at. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all. I don't even have to say nothing else. Google it. If you don't believe me, Google it.
Oh, I Googled it. Did you Google the deficit?
The deficit?
Yeah,
no,
that we was putting people away. You say because they're easy?
I did Google that.
We got the Cowboys that went to the playoffs, right? We got the Giants that went to the playoffs, right?
You got the Giants. You said it. Are you talking about your division or are you talking about what are you talking about?
I'm talking about y'all talking about it's easy. Our whole division was done up. Our whole division was tough. And it's even harder playing division people who know how to play you.
That's true for every division out there. Everybody in the division play each other hardest. What are you saying?
I'm saying that all of our people, everybody we played was rough. Who were easy? Who did we have it easy on?
The Houston ain't give y'all a bigger fight.
That's
Houston won't. Okay, all right. So
Houston, the sorry team in the goddamn NFL.
Okay, I'm just saying. You asked me a question. I'm answering you. You said who?
You act like we the only team that play Houston. We ain't put them on our schedule. That's our schedule.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. It's okay, brother. Don't you're getting kind of emotional on me, man.
I ain't emotional. I'm telling you.
I'm just saying.
Shit. You was waiting with that, ready to say, oh, they had an easy ass schedule. Worry about your dog ass team who's absolutely ass. How about that?
You said, well, hold on, what you say?
What about your team that's absolutely ass?
Hey, but you know what? My team was ass. And I ain't had no illusions about my team since week 6. You still took the ball this March.
Because we was in the Super
You know
Bowl,
what I'm saying? You were.
Yeah,
You were, but did you get? You were, but guess what? You didn't win. That's failure.
We know we didn't win, but you ain't even get there. Y'all was just sit there. You sit there saying
What's the point of going? What's the point of going
if you ain't getting in the playoffs? What's the point of going in the playoffs?
What's the point of going to the Super Bowl? You not winning. Y'all ain't got direct TV. Y'all couldn't watch that shit at home like everybody else.
You had direct TV. You had direct TV watching your goddamn quarterback sit on the fucking couch.
Hey, Brandon, when you get these emotions, hey, you know what, man?
I need
to take a breath.
Fucking shit right now. You stop.
You need to take a breath.
Put a thought on you, soft ass. Soft ass. What about that shit?
Okay, so we got an Eagles fan and a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. All right.
You know what, though? We beat y'all in the play. Last time we seen y'all in the playoffs twice. We beat y'all. Matter of fact, everybody that beat y'all in the playoffs go off to win another Super Bowl at least in the next couple of years. So
the next couple of years, that what it is, huh?
You know what I'm saying? No. You know what you just did? You made a case.
You guys,
and we not. But I can see that. You the one that's making it seem like you got the fucking
old ass bastard on your team. Oh, we shit now. Y'all even relevant work shit. Fuck that shit.
Oh man.
That shit. Yo, sorry, man. Ain't gonna be shit for them.
And for y'all to do
now? What y'all gonna do now? Huh? Worry about Tom Brady? Better ask Giselle if he can come back and play football.
You know what? It's all good, man.
It is all good. We be back while you looking. We be back here while you looking. Worry about our schedule. We be back there while y'all looking. Worry about our schedule. Worry about who your quarterback is.
Oh man.
All right. How about that Damian Lillard, huh? How about Dame Dollar?
He was awesome.
I said, how about that Damian Lillard, huh? How about that Dame Dollar?
I don't know. I feel like I should get real emotional and scream about it, then I get my point across real quick.
Ain't nobody getting no emotion and scream about it. Fuck you, nigga. Ain't you sorry ass shit. Yeah, well.
All right. Okay. Well, okay. I don't know how to follow that up. Okay. Me personally, as far as what I think the easiest path back to a Super Bowl actually would come from Philadelphia just because of what the conference looks like. There are too many question marks and uncertainties. I know Patrick Mahomes has been there and done that against everybody, which is true. But now we're going to see how good he is without Bieniemy. We're going to see how good Bieniemy is without him. AFC, I believe, is still getting stronger. The Jacksonville's getting better. Denver's having a new regime. I assume Lamar Jackson's going to be there for Baltimore. And we don't know. We don't know what the New York Jets are going to look like. But I believe the Jets will have. I think Derek Carr is going to be their quarterback. I think it's more strength in the AFC than it is in the NFC. To me, the biggest question mark for the NFC is what are the Rams going to look like. So me personally, I think it's an easier path back for Philadelphia because, again, Tampa's question mark.
You can't say that. You can't say that. It might. You don't want to ruffle. Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm saying because I'm looking at the teams around the NFC. Tampa, quarterback question issues. Saints, quarterback question issues. Same thing with Carolina. Same thing with San Francisco. Do you believe in Kirk Cousins? I don't. I think that Detroit's going to be dangerous. Aaron Rodgers is still on ayahuasca. You don't know what's going to happen with him. Do you think Dallas is going to get better? I don't. But I mean, the one thing that I have to give the Eagles the most credit for is making the playoffs in the division that this past season was the best in football. That can't be discounted. 2 years ago it was the NFC West when the Rams won the Super Bowl. You had the 49ers and you had the Cardinals in the playoffs. So I take all of that stuff into consideration. We still are brothers here. This is competitive football talk, listener audience. Don't let it fool you.
But you know what I'm saying? Since forever, the AFC always been targeted. The NFC always been food line on fucking Hall Street. Everybody know that. that was part of the point I was trying to make. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, that's it. Yeah, that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can't beat your chest because, you know what I'm saying, and say fuck this, fuck that. You know, it's not an opinion. I didn't sleep on it and pray on it. I googled the shit, and it popped up. Who had the easiest schedule in the NFL? It said Washington, and it said the Eagles. Now all that other shit, you can keep.
What are you basing that on? You saying you basing it on numbers that the NFL had the easiest schedule?
And what?
Right?
And so what they supposed to base it on?
Every year, somebody who has the easiest schedule or some NFL team that you don't expect ends up being some miraculous team. Why? Because you can't base that shit off the numbers. Because you have to get on the ground, you have to play football, and you have to do injuries. Yeah, we were healthy and we played fucking teams and shit.
And then once you do all that, and what does that produce you to? What do they get?
But the problem is y'all sitting there disrespecting my team like, oh, we have to play easy ass people to get there.
Brandon ain't say nothing, and I ain't disrespecting nobody. I'm just telling you who had the easiest schedule. Nobody's disrespecting y'all.
Man, you disrespect my team, bro.
What? Calm down, man.
Disrespect.
Y'all got every opportunity to beat everybody on go 14-2 this year.
Just like everybody else has the opportunity to beat them same people.
Yeah, right. And there's only one person that can say this season was a success, and guess what?
Absolutely.
All right.
Damn sure won't have a big.
Well, you know, to be honest with you,
and I'll be honest with you.
My team did what they supposed to do. What I needed them to do.
And you know what?
I don't know what.
I hand it to you,
because we weren't even supposed to get there. Every year we graduate.
That's where I was going with that. Where I was going with that is, Calvin, you're right. You know, where the end game for every team is winning the Super Bowl. So yes, Kansas City had a successful season above everybody else. But when you look at the expectations at the beginning of the 2022 football season, we ain't see this coming with Philadelphia, and everybody knew what their schedule was. You know, we didn't see we didn't expect them to go 14-3. So
what was the talk?
Because remember, everybody was saying that Dallas had the best quarterback in the division. So with that being said, they thought that Dallas was going to win the division.
I never thought that.
No, I know. Well, look, everybody with the exception of Tony and Marcus picked the Eagles to win the division. But I don't think anybody called Philadelphia to get to the Super Bowl.
Give me a second.
I don't think anybody called Philadelphia to get to the Super Bowl. I think the teams that were called most to go to the Super Bowl was either Green Bay, Tampa Bay, or the Rams at the beginning of the season. So, but that's the great thing about the game is that, NFL is theater of the unexpected right along with boxing.
Yeah.
So, but who knows? But that's why I think that the path back to the Super Bowl would be easier for the Eagles and the Chiefs, because even though the Eagles have all of these free agents, they're still the best constructed team in the conference.
And they got a lot of money.
And they have a lot of money, and they have a lot of draft picks. That's why
we gotta. But it's still the only thing about it is I'm not delusional. What I'm saying is it's gonna be hard to get back. Our schedule's gonna be rougher, of course, and you gotta think it's health too. Who's healthier at the end of the season? We had all of our people at the end of the season. Granted, they were still injured. They were on the field.
Right.
So you know what I mean? It's that too. Like half of the teams we played, you missing the wrong person. Nobody had anything to say last year on our team when we got there and we lost because we didn't have not last year, excuse me, when we lost quarterbacks with McNown, when we lose the Carson Wentz and shit like that. Nobody ain't say that shit to us. Oh, they would have been that if they had their quarterback.
Nobody said it when they lost to Tampa Bay in the playoffs last season because they weren't expected to even be there.
Yeah. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Of course, you know what I'm saying. Like I expected my team to do. I just wanted them to get one playoff win in there because nobody expected my quarterback. I just needed Jalen to do what he had to do, so we didn't have to use these picks to get a quarterback. That was what I wanted. He did what he needed to do. We had the team to win the Super Bowl. It was coaching to me. We had the team.
I agree with that. And an awful field. I don't know if you guys heard about this. And I'm not making any excuses or trying to throw any shade at the Kansas
I don't
City
take
Chiefs.
excuses. You catch your hell, you catch your hell.
Yeah. But, I mean, apparently I listened to an interview earlier a couple of days ago with the head groundskeeper of the field for the Super Bowl. And they said that field was hard. Granted, both teams played on it, but they said that field was horrible, that it was the worst conditioned field for a Super Bowl, only followed by last year's Super Bowl between Cincinnati and the Rams. And,
you want to know what I want to know, though, is why we the only ones that, I mean, granted, you had to, I ain't even going to bring it up because that's our own fault for not going out there and checking the field with your cleats before it happened. Because we were the only ones that had to switch cleats during that jump because everybody else on the other side was good.
No, but the thing about it is the coaches did check the field before. The coaches checked the field about 4 days before the game.
So I don't get why they ain't had that squared away at then. If you're flipping and sliding, your strength is on the front lines, both sides, and you got your people slipping and sliding. That could affect.
The Kansas City Chiefs, they went to practice at UCLA because the field conditions were bad.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the day before the game, you had the whole halftime set up on the field because they had to run through a rehearsal too. That didn't help the turf neither. They said the whole turf that they spent over $300,000 for that turf, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
And both teams had to play on that. Both teams had to play on that. But I think it's going to be interesting. I think coming into the 2023 season, my favorite to get out of the NFC would have to be the Philadelphia Eagles because everybody else is a question mark because I think they're better than Dallas. Right now, what is Washington going with? Sam Howell.
I'm gonna say that you might want to watch out for the Commanders. I know everybody be sleeping on them, but I see some.
I'm not sleeping on them, but I have to see it. To Sam Howell, one game against Dallas, last game of the season. I have to see. I just have to see that to believe it. I just have to see that to believe it. To me, the dark horse team next year is going to be Detroit.
Oh, absolutely.
And Calvin, now Tampa Bay, now you guys have a good roster except for that one position now. Where do you think y'all are going to go, Buccaneers are going to go for quarterback?
To the trash can. I'm just playing with you, bro.
Hold on, because I don't want to talk to you so goddamn bad. Now you said what now, brother? What's this now? Run that 20 minutes back. Run that shit back. What did you say now? Yeah.
I was about to come out and say, you know what I'm saying? I was a little aggressive at the beginning to bring it back. But if you want to bring it back, we can bring it back.
I just asked, where's Tampa? Where do you think Tampa Bay should go with the quarterback position? That's
so where should I?
Where do you think they should go? Yes.
They probably going. They're probably going to get Garoppolo because he's similar to what you call it or whatever.
I can see that because it doesn't look like they're gonna land Derek Carr.
And he's gonna be a whole lot cheaper than Derek Carr.
Oh yeah.
You
know? Oh yeah.
He's gonna be a whole lot cheaper than Derek Carr.
Y'all get that Gardner Minshew.
I don't think they want Gardner Minshew.
Hey, you know what?
Y'all can take that mustache right the fuck up. Y'all playing.
But Gardner Minshew a hell of a lot better than what we got.
Oh, y'all got Kyle Trask right now.
He watched some games, did it? Oh yeah, right now probably yeah. I mean,
hey, I always, you know what? I always like goddamn Gardner Minshew, man. He remind me of
on your team.
He remind me of Joe Dirt a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He remind me of that.
Hey, look, I always liked Joe Flacco until he was our quarterback.
Until he get on the field and piss you the fuck up.
I always liked Russell Wilson until last season.
Absolutely. Fucking up your shit.
I was a Russell Wilson fan until 2022.
See, you playing. Brady got me my skin a number of times last year, boy.
Well, look. What make you smile could also make you cry. Or what make you cry could also make you smile. Remember, I used to hate Peyton
Yeah.
Manning until he became quarterback of the Broncos. But look, you said something. Remember, I said something about Rex Ryan, D coordinator for Denver, and I said Vance Joseph was in the running, and you said, how the hell could you go back to your former team that fired you? Well, he's our new defensive coordinator.
I saw that. I thought about you too. I saw that shit.
I'm not mad at that though, because Vance Joseph is a hell of a D coordinator.
I thought it was time to come. It wasn't time to come. He said, yeah, that's. I mean, I ain't saying it was a bad move for y'all. I just thought it'd be a bad move for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if he like it, then if he went, ain't like they kidnapped the nigga. If he went back on his own, then fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look,
Thank you.
you know, Rex Ryan was a better name, a bigger name, but I mean, I'm perfectly satisfied with Vance Joseph being Denver's defensive coordinator.
Shit, we were trying to get Vance Joseph as our D coordinator.
Yeah. I mean, we have the person. I mean, and his scheme. I don't know. He was trained under Wade Phillips, so he runs the same scheme that Wade Phillips runs, which is basically, you know, you get to the quarterback with your 4, and you have elite corners to cover. You know, that makes it hard.
Right.
That's hard. That's hard to play against.
But I mean, I don't know. I always thought or figured that, you know, with that game, the game they play, it evolves so much year after year that it, you know, just I fear that, you know, if you stepped away 2 or 3 years as a coordinator, you know what I'm saying, or any coach.
Oh, you talking about Rex Ryan?
Right.
Right. And when you come back, it's foreign to you. You know what I'm saying? It's not foreign to you, but it's just
different
not,
NFL.
you know.
Yeah.
It's a different NFL. I mean. That's probably that was my thing. Like, he a beast defensive mind. I just think y'all could have got him back in like it'd have been dope if y'all had him in like an assistant head coach role or something.
Ooh, Rex
You
Ryan?
know, or some type of, you know what I'm saying, some type of consulting thing, so he can see what's really going on and put what he's already learned and knows to be true.
And you know what's funny is that that's what they were looking at Vic Fangio to do that before he went down and signed with Miami.
Did you get your drink?
But you know, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. Now,
I thought we were going to keep Vic Fangio for ourselves, but
yeah, you know, he was a consultant for y'all for the Super Bowl.
yeah, I didn't even say that. If he consulted I was just thinking about that. If he consulted anything in that Super Bowl, then he can go too.
No, but you know what? But the thing is, he wasn't a consultant. But Vic Fangio wasn't a consultant for defense. That's what confused me.
Yeah, it was offense.
Yeah.
Better schemes and shit like that. Which, I mean, it worked. Goddamn it, we were
Well, I was going to say the offense wasn't the problem.
the offense wasn't the problem. It was the defense. And so, I mean, I feel like I don't know. We with the better coach at the defensive coordinator. I kind of like. I really wish they go out there and give me some Lovey. I'll take Lovey Smith. But
I know, right? Hey, now,
I
Lovie
see
Smith
that.
is a great defensive coordinator. Hell yeah!
I know he is.
You go ahead. Yeah, I hope y'all do get Black Santa Claus.
Hey, you know what? All jokes aside, I know, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me, I stand by what I said. I felt like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like, and just listen to me, just hear me out. I felt like y'all had an easy schedule. But that don't mean y'all not the team that went and took them to the limit. It just took one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL right now down to the wire. That's my point. With that being said, you know what I'm saying? With that being said, you know, it's what's the word? It's not like, okay, y'all said nobody expected them to go 14-3. Well, go 14-3 this year. Last year. Well, everybody gonna expect them to do that this year. Like, y'all not, they are as advertised. You know what I'm saying? Like, now don't give me that. Don't confuse it. I still think the schedule's easy, but that they don't. Like Brandon said, y'all didn't pick the schedule. Now, I'm not saying y'all did. I'm just saying
Our schedule is not easy this year, though. This one coming up, because of course we got all the division.
Okay, all right, okay. So you saying
And we play
the
the
same
AFC
thing? Well, now you saying the same? You say you play the who?
Well, East. I'm sorry. We play the Miami and.
Oh, y'all go. Oh, so that's y'all out of conference schedule is the AFC East this year. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right. Well, hey, there you go. Now you got to deal with Buffalo, Miami, and the Jets, and the Patriots. Because I think Bill O'Brien being the offensive coordinator is going to be a world of difference for Mac Jones. I think that whole division is going to be crazy.
Have a different team too, because you got to think. We got to think about Kelsey too, because if Kelsey's coming back, because that's a big part on your front.
Absolutely.
Losing Jason Kelsey, and then we lose Fletch. We probably gonna lose Fletch. We probably gonna lose Brandon. Well, we might get Brandon Graham back on the veteran Joe.
I can see Fletcher Cox probably doing the same thing though.
I don't. It depends on if we lose Hargrave too, because Hargrave is out there too. We're gonna be losing Hargrave. We're gonna have a different team and a rougher schedule. So it's going to be different. Of course, it's going to be a little bit tougher. And
two brand new coordinators, too.
Do they think? Yeah, and brand new coordinators on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a turnaround. That's why it's so hard to get back, because you get people snatched from your team and you lose people, especially after Super Bowls, because people want their money, so they're not going to take pennies. And then you got people who want your coordinators because they did good. So it's turnaround. That's what's hard to do to get back to the Super Bowl, and that's why it's such a big thing that Andy Reid and all the boys kept it together, because now they even got to worry about it. Now you got somebody. I mean, you still got Andy there, but you don't have the enemy no more either. And that is
and I think that the AFC West this coming up season is going to be what everybody thought it was going to be this past season. Because I think Kellen Moore being an offensive coordinator for what's his face and the Chargers. What's the damn quarterback name? I'm having a brain fart.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. Yeah, I think him being a coordinator for Justin Herbert is going to help. I believe my Broncos are finally on the way to where we need to be. I don't expect shit from the Raiders, to be honest with you. You saying Garoppolo might come to Tampa? Garoppolo might go to Vegas too, just because of familiarity with their coach, with the head coach.
Yeah.
So I think the AFC West is going to be tougher too. But that's why I still think the path is easier for Philadelphia, because I think teams in the AFC are just going to get better. You know, like I said, Cleveland, Deshaun Watson, full off season. I believe Lamar will be back with Baltimore. Cincinnati is really the Chiefs' bugaboo for real. I mean, Cincinnati's really their bugaboo.
Be better too. The Giants are going to be better.
The Giants are.
Brian Daboll is a good coach.
Hold on. You heard Daniel Jones wants $45 million a year?
Yeah, what the fuck is he thinking? This was your first season, and looking like you even was a quarterback for an NFL franchise, and you want them to drop the dime on you? Like, bro, get the fuck out of here.
So who do you think they're going to franchise tag? Do you think they're going to franchise tag him or Saquon?
Hey, if I was them, I wouldn't franchise tag one of them motherfuckers, because Saquon, I'll give Saquon his money if Saquon wants that shit. I mean, I'll give him something, but if he wants too much, he got to go, because Saquon is the same way. Like, y'all motherfuckers, we had y'all for so long, and you can't stay healthy, and you haven't shown that you can do anything.
How long they had him, like 4 years?
Yeah, it was the 2018 draft, but Saquon already came out and said that he's not trying to reset the market for running backs. So that means he'll take a team-friendly deal.
He knows. You ain't been on the field, bro. And
yeah, exactly.
You got to stay there. Like, I would love to have Saquon. To not even lie, I thought they were going to suck this year, and I was hoping that they want to release him and we're going to get that motherfucker. Because I like Saquon. He's healthy. You know what I'm saying? But that motherfucker can't stay healthy. And I would have took a gander on his ass and put him in the backfield with Miles Sanders this year.
Now, see, that's the guy who I believe may be on the outside looking in, Miles Sanders, who just had a career year, but you got Gainwell.
He wants to stay in Philly so bad.
I hope he does, man. I hope he does, but he's going to have to be like Saquon and take a team-friendly deal.
Not take a team-friendly deal, because we run it back by committee, for sure.
But Miles Sanders is, I mean, you got Gainwell, but Miles Sanders is better. But I mean, like I said, he's gonna have to.
I look at it like this: Saquon, however long Saquon been in New York, he has been primarily the offense. So you look at somebody like Miles Sanders. Look at somebody like Miles Sanders who is in an actual offense. You know what I'm saying? He's in a. I'm not trying to say nobody's more talented than the other one, but that shit kind of clicked a lot different than New York was. So
Eagles ain't really paying a running back, and we got 2 second-round picks this year too. They'll fucking around to get a running back in the second spot that's cheaper, and then that could fit our squad too, is besides paying a running back. Although it depends, like I said, it depends on who we losing. because you're going to have to spend them picks somewhere to get better. It's going to have to be the cornerback position because and the D-line. Like, just looking at our team and who we may lose, it has to be either cornerback or D-line.
Well, I'll take Miles Sanders, and I'll take old-ass Bobby Wagner, who just got released.
I'll take Bobby too, bro. Bobby can bring his ass over there. Linebacker too.
Yeah, I'll definitely take B-Wag.
I would definitely take Bobby. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a lot of. It's gonna be some shockers. It's always shockers every year, but it's gonna be some. I think it's gonna be some quarterback shockers this year, and I think it's gonna be Aaron Rodgers too.
What do you think the shock is gonna be? What do you think he's going to the Jets?
I think he is.
Okay.
Going to the Jets?
I don't think so. The more I think about it, I don't think so.
I think he might retire.
I don't think that. No, he's not leaving $60 million. He's not leaving $60 million on the table. I promise you that. I don't care how many retreats in the darkness that he takes. He's not gonna leave $60 million on the goddamn table. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, think about how many more shrooms he can buy with that extra $60 million.
Let the Lord be the light.
Aaron Rodgers likes to be in people's face and be
exactly. That's why I don't pay much attention.
He ain't going nowhere.
He's worse than Brett Favre. He likes that attention so much because he's done this for the last 4 fucking off seasons. Maybe I'll come back. And to me,
ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch though?
Yeah.
That's how eerie similar this shit is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like what Thompson is.
See, the reason why Aaron Rodgers do that shit is because it takes the attention off the fact that he hasn't gotten it done. So
he hasn't gotten it done. Nobody puts that shit on him.
Yeah. So as soon as the game is over, we want to do this long, drawn-out walk down Lambeau Field with Randall Cobb talking about this may be it. No, motherfucker, you lost.
You know what? I don't know how long. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know how long you've been doing this podcast, but that's probably the truest statement I've ever heard anybody say. They don't hold Aaron Rodgers accountable for shit when it comes to shit.
They don't.
They don't dog him like they do the other NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Because he switches up the narrative. As soon as he loses, it's, well, I might retire. So you're talking about that instead of the fact that the Packers just got eliminated at Lambeau Field again.
Just on his playmakers, and they never say anything. He always throws his people under the bus.
Hell yeah.
So, whining. Oh, let's go get him Randall Cobb. Got you, Cobb. He still ain't shit. Like they don't hold that man accountable for shit, bro.
Bruh, Green Bay wants to get rid of him so bad. They really do. But they committed way too much money to him.
First game. How you do that, bro?
They want to get rid of him so fucking bad.
Well, it happened. It happened to us. I mean, it happened. I'm just saying he had a lot of opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like his misses are pretty big, and don't nobody talk about them. You know,
they never talk about them. That's the problem.
They never do.
Like you talk about like you know what I'm saying? Home field is oh man, because that's supposed to be it's supposed to be the toughest place to play.
The Lambeau Field legend is gone.
Conversations all the time in the league, like this team.
Hey, that 2020. Hey, he won't supposed to. That 2020 jump. He won't supposed to get that. He won't supposed to get that one at all.
Bro, the whole myth about Lambeau Field and nobody wants to play in Lambeau in January, that shit is destroyed. That shit is broke. And to be honest with you, it was destroyed 20 years ago under Brett Favre's watch by Michael Vick.
Yeah.
That shit is destroyed.
That shit died. That shit died with the Giants beat them.
Bro, they've lost in Lambeau since 2002. They've lost in Lambeau so many times in the playoffs. Whenever I hear nobody wants to play in Lambeau in January, I'm like, since when? Maybe not in the 90s, but ever since the 2000s, bruh. Michael Vick done won there. Dante Culpepper done won there. Colin Kaepernick done won there. Brady done won there. Garoppolo done won there.
That's when it died. I apologize. That's when it died when Vick beat him.
That's what and that was on Eli Manning done won there twice. And Vick beat him. That was on Brett Favre watch. So, but nobody ever talks about that with Aaron Rodgers because, again, as soon as his season is over, the first thing he does is say, well, I might retire. So that gets people not talking about the fact that he didn't get it done to, wow, is he going to come back? And I personally don't give a shit.
I'm getting rid of that motherfucker.
They want to get rid of him so bad, but they got so much money tied into him. The worst thing the Packers could have did was sign him to a 3-year, $150 million extension. That was the dumbest shit that they could have done.
So what are their options? They release him.
They release him. If they release him, they got to pay him $99 million.
So they got to find somebody that can trade
That want that fucking contract.
But somebody want Aaron Rodgers. Are you joking?
But this is
take him. The Commanders will take him.
But this is why I don't think the Jets are gonna take him because for one, over Derek Carr. Because if you trade for Aaron Rodgers, you're gonna have to give up draft picks. Derek Carr is a free agent.
Right.
Yeah, but that's Aaron Rodgers.
It doesn't matter. But we're just talking about the Aaron Rodgers past history. What is Aaron Rodgers ain't won a Super Bowl in 12 years.
But they love him. They don't say nothing about him.
I don't, but you know what, bro? But think about it. You're going to give up 2 or 3 first-round draft picks for maybe 2 years' worth of football when you got a 30-year-old quarterback.
Famous, nigga. They had Mark Sanchez, Joe Flacco, Zach Wilson.
Hey, wait a minute now. Before we shit on Sanchez, let's look at the quarterbacks that Sanchez beat in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sanchez done beat Carson Palmer. He done beat Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady. So
he didn't go out right with that butt fumble.
No, the butt fumble didn't do him no justice. But if you look at the motherfuckers that he's beat in the playoffs, he's beat Hall of Famers.
Yeah. I believe, you know what I'm saying, you can be the best quarterback. You can be the best quarterback alive. You ain't in the right spot in the right time. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like basketball when you don't have this, basketball don't have that many moving parts on this, you know what I'm saying?
Shit. You seen this trade deadline?
Huh?
You seen this? You paid attention to this trade deadline?
This past one, yeah, it was a lot.
But no, but I get what you're saying. I get what he's saying.
You know what I'm saying? Because and you gotta remember New York back then, like they had that 09 season, but it still that 09 season wasn't a diamond in the rough. That was a rough organization to play for.
New York, who's 09 season? Oh, the Jets? Remember, they went to the AFC Championship in 09 and 2010.
They did. They did, but what I'm saying is that organization had to go over an overhaul, you know what I'm saying, for culture.
Well, plus it was a different NFL. Like, it was a different NFL in 2010. As crazy as that may sound.
You know what I'm saying? The Jets, they was still in that mind. They was that organization, because some teams really don't have to. Remember we was talking about this, Brandon? Like, it don't matter what they do, they not gonna lose sales. They're not, because that's all them owners really care about. They don't give a fuck.
No, they don't. They want to win. Well, that's why Jerry Jones stay on top.
But when you buy an NFL team, you don't be like, they don't. They don't.
Right.
Hey, we said that, and I'm saying in the same spot that me and Brandon was talking about. We said that it's like, you a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? You done made your money. You successful. If you're a billionaire, I don't care who you is. You successful in life. I don't give a fuck if you eat raw bats or whatever. When you go buy an NFL team, when you go buy an NFL team, you don't wake up and say, you know what, I want to win a Super Bowl. No, it's an investment.
No, you wealthy. That's wealth.
I'm gonna put this money in there so I can get more backs.
That's wealth. Yeah.
A lot of organizations, a lot of organizations out there, they not focused on that winning.
But the ones that do end up being in the Super Bowl, because they'll do anything to make sure that their product is a winning product.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Well, again, I don't think it. If I'm New York Jets ownership, I have to look at I have to compare apples to oranges. You're going to give up draft capital for a quarterback that at most you're going to have for 2 years, or you could sign a free agent quarterback who you're going to have for at least 6 or 7. The Jets front office told Derek Carr if he came to the New York Jets, he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Then what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for Aaron Rodgers' high to die down? If you're going to tell another quarterback that, what are you waiting for?
Yeah. Yeah, they probably say that to all the girls. You know what I'm saying? They probably say that to all. What you gonna tell them? Like you'll be alright.
You think they said? You think they said that to Ryan Fitzpatrick?
They supposed to say that. Yeah, they told him that. They probably told him that shit too. You know what I'm saying? They supposed to tell him that shit.
Well, I tell you what, either one of them is better than Zach Wilson. So I'm looking at it.
And we know that now.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's whether you sign Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr, you upgraded at quarterback.
Yeah.
Because of the roster you have around you, Garrett Wilson and Corey Davis, you know, and then Breece Hall coming back. They got, and that defense, they got a squad.
The Jets got a squad.
They got a squad.
If I was any quarterback, that's where I would want to be at.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be Aaron Rodgers because.
But you can only imagine, too. They got picks that make their team even better, too.
But see, if you got Aaron Rodgers, you would have to give those picks up. You don't have to do that with Derek Carr.
I'm just saying. I get what you're saying, but yeah, I wouldn't do it. I would want Derek Carr. I would want Derek Carr if I was them anyway. He's younger.
That's what I'm saying.
Bringing that shit to him.
Exactly.
Give up shit you just signed him. So
you would do the Aaron Rodgers thing if you knew that for a fact that you were like one piece away and he's that piece. You know what I'm saying?
Or if I knew for a fact that Aaron Rodgers came out and demanded a trade to the New York Jets instead of going on, I want to be hiding in the dark for 4 days where you don't know what the hell he gonna do. You don't know what his mood, temperament, and mindset is gonna be. If Aaron Rodgers came out and said, I want to go to the New York Jets and made it public, then I would seriously think about it. All this other access drama day in, day out, have to watch Pat McAfee to find out what the fuck this man is thinking. That shit's not worth it.
Unless you hold it out, you want Lamar Jackson, because that's the thing.
Now that's a whole nother can of worms. That's a whole nother can of worms. That's a whole nother can of worms. If you can get Lamar Jackson, fuck both of them other two motherfuckers.
And you know the QB because the combine.
The quarterback market is gonna live and die this free agency with Lamar Jackson.
Unless they franchise tag him.
We got us too, because we about to have to pay Jalen too.
Yeah, because Jalen Hurts could easily reset the market.
But
we don't have to pay him this year, but you know.
I don't see Philadelphia dragging that out the way Baltimore.
Technically, you don't have to, but come on now.
Yeah, you don't have to. But you want to.
We talking about free agents and quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts ain't going nowhere. He is y'all answer.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
You don't go give all that.
But what Howie Roseman did is he cleaned up his mistake. He paid Carson Wentz too quick. That was a mistake. He saw quickly Carson Wentz was regressing, drafted a quarterback who took him to a Super Bowl. He made up for his mistake.
I was ready to get rid of Howie like a motherfucker. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Hey, you know what? I can't wait till like 10, 15 years from now when there's a 30 for 30 or
on Carson Wentz.
It might even be an ID discovery thing. Like, what the fuck happened to this dude? You know what I'm saying? He went from Joe Montana to Joe Dirt. Like,
mentality fucked him up. His mentality in Philadelphia fucked him up.
The worst thing that happened to Carson Wentz was Nick Foles winning that Super Bowl.
That Super Bowl fucked Carson Wentz up, and they put that trophy, that statue out there.
Yeah, that fucked him up.
To work, and you the franchise quarterback, and the nigga that was behind you got a statue.
Because coming from where he came from, he was always the best player on the team. No questions asked. He was always the man. The worst thing that happened was Nick Foles winning that Super Bowl. Like you said, Sean, the statue, the shrine of Nick Foles. He ain't got to never pay for another cheesesteak as long as he breathe air and drink water. And that fucked Carson Wentz all the way up.
Did you see the press conference when he stepped up on that thing? You can kind of tell he was like, hey, remember me? We're going to do this again.
Yeah.
Next year, nothing.
Nothing.
Did it again.
And they were like, shut up.
Yeah, whatever, motherfucker. Put Nick back up there. Like, yeah, they don't give a shit.
And what happened the very next season? Carson Wentz was below average, got hurt, and Nick Foles damn near took him to the Super Bowl again.
And that's when he did it to himself. And that's when we was like, we have to get a quarterback. And that's why Jalen got drafted so high, because he couldn't stay healthy.
Nope.
We needed somebody behind him every fucking year because you took us there, but you couldn't finish the fucking job. So we got to get somebody to finish the fucking job, i.e. your second pick, get Jalen Hurts.
Well, I mean, and it was you truly talking about a mental block.
You talking about drafting Jalen Hurts so high, and I wish you really were on the phone when I said this, but I think Jalen Hurts got drafted low. Jalen Hurts was supposed to be in the first. With all, I mean, looking at everything surrounding Jalen Hurts, that man was supposed to be in a first-round pick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like,
but you know why he
So
wasn't.
y'all didn't draft that nigga high. Y'all
But see,
drafted
Jalen Hurts was drafted low for the same reason why Lamar Jackson was drafted low.
We drafted him. What I'm saying is we drafted him high, being as though we already had a franchise quarterback
Right.
on our team.
Right.
Like, when you got a franchise quarterback, you'll use a second-round pick.
Right, yeah. I mean, the season before they drafted Jalen Hurts, they had signed Carson Wentz to a $160 million deal.
You don't draft a quarterback number 2 when you already got a motherfucker you pay like that. You use that number 2 to either put somebody around him or put somebody on your defense. You don't get a backup quarterback at number 2.
And you know what? And I guess like Brandon said, same thing to make you laugh, make you cry.
Yep.
That shit, that Carson Wentz shit. You know what I'm saying? What I said 10 minutes ago about the being in the right place at the right time. Maybe he was at the right place at the right time for that time, because I guess history is showing. You know what I'm saying? Like
that roster was so perfect that you could have a backup quarterback come in and handle business.
I'm not gonna say that, because looking at them games, he showed he could do it. His escapability, his arm strength.
Who? Carson Wentz and Nick Foles?
Carson Wentz.
Oh yeah.
Carson Wentz showed all the signs that he was a franchise quarterback. He fucked himself mentally after all that shit. You could tell he was pressing. He couldn't handle the pressure. He
could not handle the pressure.
Like competition.
Nope.
You could tell that shit, because it's like we did everything to fix him and he still was bitching. We got rid of Doug Peterson. We ain't won a fucking Super Bowl ever in fucking Philadelphia, and the one coach we got rid of that nigga so quick. That's stupid.
Hey, you know what?
Because our quarterback
that's another 30 for 30 in itself. Like, what the fuck went on with Doug Peterson in the front office for him to throw that game? They say he threw the game.
Oh, against the Giants.
No.
So against Washington. That's
on my 30 for 30 wish list. The Eagles and the Eagles in the 2010 and the San Francisco 49ers. Because you remember that year? Remember they was you know, the San Francisco 49ers was stacked, and all of a sudden everybody just ain't want to play football no more.
Oh, you talking about with Patrick Willis and Bowman and them?
Patrick Willis and Bowman.
That's when
Alden Smith.
That's when all of that shit about them concussions started coming out. Then a bunch of them motherfuckers started retiring early. It wasn't just Patrick Willis. Goddamn, Luke Kuechly retired early.
Mm-hmm.
It was like what was that movie? That Will Smith movie, Concussion. When that shit dropped, that changed niggas' lives.
That's interesting. I didn't look at it like that. I'm glad. Well, Luke Kuechly, he retired like a couple of years after that, but
he was only 28 years old when he retired.
I understand.
Patrick Willis was only 29 years old when he retired.
I understand. Well, yeah, but nobody went like you had not just Patrick Willis. They had a couple of starters that just quit.
Yeah, I mean, look. If you feel you've made the money and you feel you retired with all your faculties, that means, you love the game, but you love what your life after the game more, then you just have to do what you got to do. You know, you just have to do what you got to do. But look, fellas, I have to go. I got some dad shit to do right now. Well, actually, because Sean, I'm gonna hit you back with David on the phone, because I want to go over this funniest NFL names of all time, Calvin. Unless you wanna chime in on the funniest football names of all time. You wanna go for that too?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. Now this is off the top of my head, and this is just random because I want to do something silly. Sean, you with me?
What name?
Funniest ever football names. Give me one.
I don't really know no football name. What you mean, like nicknames or just like?
No, just funniest actual real names.
Funny real name. Just off the
David
top of my head,
Booty.
not even thinking about it.
David Booty.
David Booty.
David Booty.
I'll give you one. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Sean. You go first.
I don't have one. What are you talking about?
Okay. Former Green Bay Packer, Clinton Dix.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. Leave Clinton Dix alone.
This receiver used to play for the Carolina.
We just talking about funny shit just on the side. You want to talk about cock?
Yeah, got this receiver used to play for the Carolina Panthers, Marvin McNutt.
Yeah. Marvin McNutt. I remember him. Shit, he was an Eagle.
He was an Eagle. Marvin McNutt was an Eagle. This coach was just fired. He says his name sounds like a bowl of cereal. Cliff Kingsbury. This guy used to play for the Chargers. Remember his name from Tecmo Bowl? Marion Butts.
Marion Butts. Did he play for the Steelers?
He played for the Steelers too. And this coach just got hired to be an offensive coordinator. I forgot with which team, but this is the undisputed most funniest football name ever, Jim Bob Cooter.
Fucking Jim Bob Cooter. You called me out, guy. I got to do my research.
Okay, well, I will call you back. I will call you back with David. But Calvin, do you have any more funny names? To me, Jim Bob Cooter, you can't beat that because it sounds redneckish, but it sounds perverted as well.
I always thought Clinton Dix. I thought William Gay was always funny. Like he had to be an athlete. You know how many fights he had to? You know how many fights he had to go in? He had to be in growing up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I thought David Booty was kind of funny. Even though he didn't play in the NFL.
John David Booty, I remember that. That's right, John David Booty. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me see. I can't think of nothing right now. I'm gonna come back.
But yeah, Ha Clinton Dix. How's your first name Ha and your last name Dix? Ha Dix.
That's funny.
All right, fellas, but Sean, I'm gonna hit you back in a few. Big C, I know you doing your thing at the job, but glad we had this conversation. This was a classic.
Absolutely,
Okay.
bro.
Yeah, hey, son, don't be coming for me like that, man. Goddamn calling me at work.
No, look.
Hey, look.
Let me take that.
I was prepared. I was prepared. Brandon called me Friday night and said, "Hey, man, look, listen. That nigga Sean said, what you mean?" And I'm like, what you mean? He said, yeah, that nigga Sean, he catch you. So I'm like, okay, so look, I'm researching this shit. I'm writing shit down. I got my notes and shit. I said, this nigga Brandon ain't gonna call me till like 1, 2 o'clock. Well, you know, I'll be back on break. I go on lunch with these people. This nigga called me while I'm in Chick-fil-A. I have nothing. And I'm in all these people. I can't say shit. I said, oh my God, man. This is ridiculous.
Look, because when you told me, because I had did some research too before we had did all that shit, bro. All that shit out the window. Because when he called me, I was in here playing some fucking CK, getting my ass whipped. So that just made me a little bit more angry. That's why I came out there. I was like, motherfucker, I want to hear lose arm.
Hey.
I was down there. But yeah, that was interesting. That was fun. Bro.
Yes, that was.
Hey, man. Hey, them niggas on Madden be wearing my ass up. Look, you can get somebody. I'm gonna play my thing. You can get somebody there, get the Chiefs or the Bills, and you can do your thing. A nigga will come out with the fucking Jaguars or the Texans and wear your ass up. Look, a nigga beat me so bad and talk so much shit. I told the nigga leave me alone. I was 12. That nigga said you wish you was 12.
You gotta do that shit, bro.
Well, y'all need to link up. Y'all need to link up and play each other online.
We got Madden League. Maybe you should join us on my Madden League, man. My people do a Madden League, bro.
Word, what you got? Xbox or PlayStation?
I got both, but we do it on Xbox.
Okay, I can do that then. If you said PlayStation, I'm like, you rich ass nigga.
Okay, I got a PlayStation too. I am rich.
Oh Lord. Okay. Okay.
I'm a true gamer. I got a PlayStation.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
The PC.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So you the truth. Yeah, I got to get with you.
Yeah, I'm a gamer.
You got all them done. You play on the monitor too, don't you?
Yeah, I got a monitor.
You look at that shit right there.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's real. It's real over here, nigga.
Oh yeah, hey, bro. Hey, Calvin.
I fuck with people. I don't drink. I don't do shit. I all them days of partying.
Hey, Calvin, I gotta take you to his crib one day. He got the game room. I mean, it is real.
I can believe it.
Yeah,
And look, son, I'm gonna look you up on Facebook. It's gonna be a funny ass name with a funny picture that's gonna send you a friend request. It's me. I can't put my name on Facebook.
Oh, I was just about to say it. I'm not gonna do it. Matter of fact, Sean, I'm gonna text it to you. I'm not gonna say it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Text it to me. Just text me a gamer tag and I'll send you a friend request.
All right, I'll do that, man.
Yeah, just give me a gamer tag.
Yeah, text me a gamer tag and I'll forward it to him.
All right, okay. All right, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all be good.
All right, bro. Love you too, man. Sean.
Hey, Sean, you better get it together. You better get it together, okay?
Hey, bro, I can't. Man. I got a little PTSD.
Sean came on with venom in his eyes.
I already told you I was texting this L at 2K, bro. I had to my shit, bro.
Lord have mercy. Hey, listen, Calvin. And when I tell you, when he does not like to lose, the one time we almost got into a fight, and this is my brother, the one time we almost got into a fight was when I beat him in a game of basketball. This man hates to lose. So really, he wasn't talking to you. He was talking to the people who was winning on 2K.
That's what it was.
Hey, look. Say, Brandon, if he almost as competitive as you, I believe it. Man, me and Brandon used to have 10, 9, 11, 12-year-olds going to war.
Yes, sir.
It didn't matter.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
But all right, fellas. Sean, I'm going to call you back in a few with David. All right, Big C.
All right, man.
All right.
Bro.
That was fun. Oh, my gosh. That was indeed very, very classic. Can't thank my bros enough. I'm sitting here thinking like, wow, like this is really intense. Like that got intense real quick, real fast. But then it started to make sense as Sean was explaining that he was playing online. And yes, my brother hates to lose. He does. He hates to lose. Like, again, true story. This was, let's see, I'm very good on remembering these dates. This was, I want to say around April or May of our sophomore year in high school. Of our sophomore year, 1999. This was a Saturday. We were getting ready to perform at the Miss Highlander beauty pageant, and me and Sean, we were at my house, and I had a basketball hoop in the backyard, and we played one-on-one, and we were intense. We used to go at it. He would beat me, I would beat him. And I think we played 3 games. He beat me the first game. I beat him the second game. We started talking shit. And going into the third game, we talking shit. He's up on me early. He has a big lead on me. He's talking shit. And then I come back. I'm talking shit. And I win the game. And not only that, I win the game. The last move, I made a spin move on him, and I dunked it. And I said, my motherfucking house. That's right. I said, what's up? And he picked the ball up and he threw it at me, and he was like he was mad. Like, I know he does not like to lose. And that was the version of Sean that we got at the beginning of that interview with Calvin, which was supposed to be a debate. And but I'm glad that everything worked out the way it did, because it's not like we don't all know each other. We're all part of the prediction league. We didn't all I done had fight parties where everybody done been there. We all bros. But when it come to that football talk, when it come to repping for your team, supporting for your team, it's a man thing. Maybe people don't understand, but that shit is real for us. It is what it is. I can't jump in it about disrespect as far as my Denver Broncos go, because we haven't been relevant in the last 7 years. So, but for a team where you have, on one end, you have a team that just won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and then on the other, you have a team that was just in the Super Bowl. Yeah, that pride can sometimes take over, but God, that was a classic. And now, next up, as far as the interview goes, and once again, it's going to be hard to follow up, because that was a classic. Again, just explaining how when men are passionate about their football teams, it gets real. But again, that was classic. But I got Broski Tony on the line. What up, homie?
Yo, what's happening?
All right, I'm locked into all things basketball. Tony's no stranger to the show, but just a quick reminder, Tony is a Chicago Bulls fan. As football has passed us, at least on the playing field. Of course, we know now football is 365, but as far as the most active and the most active sport thus far is the NBA. I'm locked into all things basketball, bro. So what do you got going on here?
I mean, the Eastern Conference. I mean, on the surface, it looks like a two-team race. The rumor mill somewhere has Embiid asking out potentially.
Embiid asking out of Philadelphia?
Embiid asking out of Philly. This is the back channel thing I read yesterday on the forum, and it's that reliable source thing. But the strange thing is the quote attributed to him sounds like Embiid. Sounds like something he would say. He wants to go to a place where they know basketball.
Interesting. You see that
Philly ain't it.
You see that the Atlanta Hawks just signed Quinn Snyder after firing Nate McMillan. They just inked Quinn Snyder, the former Utah Jazz coach, to I want to say like a 6-year deal.
Yeah, I saw that. Maybe a change was necessary. Quinn Snyder is not necessarily a bad pickup, but I don't know about 6 years.
Yeah, it was something along that line of like a 6-year deal. The Hawks right now are, one of those teams that are just trying to get into the playoffs. They've underachieved ever since 2 years ago when they found themselves in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in franchise history, and they thought that they had something with Nate McMillan, and apparently they were led astray, unfortunately for Nate McMillan, who I think is a good coach.
This period of time for the bottom half of the Eastern Conference and all the play-in people, this stretch is crucial because it's a lot of head-to-head. A lot of head-to-head, The Wizards still got 4 against the Hawks, and the Wizards are right there trying to get in, but they just lost to us, and they lost to Toronto, who is ahead, and then we're half game behind. And then Toronto is a whole other thing. So a lot will be determined likely over the next 3 weeks.
Well, the Hawks are currently in the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference. That Quinn Snyder deal is a 5-year deal. And as far as the Raptors, yes, the Raptors are in the 9th spot. The Wizards are in the 10th. As far as, 9th and 10th play-in, I expressed early on the show how much I dislike the play-in. But, I mean, it's a part of basketball, at least for the time being. So when you look at your top 10 teams, and even if you go top 11 teams with the Chicago Bulls being number 11, there's only a 4-game gap between number 11, where Chicago, and number 7, who is Miami. So it is a lot of head-to-head, a lot of games to be determined, which is pretty much the same thing as the Western Conference. The gap, and I mentioned this earlier on the show, the gap between number 13, where Oklahoma City is at, and number 4, where Phoenix is at, is only 3 games in the loss column.
Yeah.
So how about Damian Lillard dropping 71 last night?
I mean, drug test waiting for him right after the game. Come be in this cup.
Stop.
I mean, that's what they did, and then they'll say it was random. They
did the same thing to Donovan Mitchell after he dropped 71.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but I'm gonna speak generally on the state of basketball, just in general.
State
of basketball.
I'm sorry.
So I watched our game yesterday, and both teams shooting piss poor from 3, and it occurred to me that neither team, once they got cold from 3, the scoring stopped. It's like you forget how to play basketball in the paint. Now, the Wizards had the most points in the paint by default, but it's like you forget. Okay, if the 3-point shot ain't falling, go to the paint. I literally watched 2 to 3 plays on both sides. I watched and this is just not smart basketball. This is what I mean. What the game has kind of devolved to kind of counter the narrative that players bigger, stronger, faster. Yeah, but they damn sure ain't smarter.
No.
Because you're driving into the teeth of the defense, into the paint. You have one man, not three men jumping up or, a 7-footer, but you will kick it back out to a 3-point shot. You understand? Rather than taking the 4-foot layup, the 4-foot jumper, bunny, anything, but you're going to kick it out to a 3-point shot in the corner. Now, the corner is the highest 3-point shot, you're going to hit.
Because it's the closest.
It's the closest, but you ain't closer than 4 feet. So, explain, Bradley Beal, why are you throwing the ball out to a 3-point shooter and your team is cold as hell from 3 rather than just taking the shot? Taking it up strong and putting it in the hole. Or missing from 4 feet, which is better than missing from, 20 feet. I don't understand. I don't understand the logic. I don't understand the basketball IQ dynamic. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't disagree with you at all. And I am locked into all things basketball now that football is over. I have aired my grievances with the way basketball is played now. And I was watching First Take last week when they were talking about, load management and, why so many stars are missing games. And J.J. Redick was saying something that where I don't disagree with, but I'm like, there's an easy solution to. He said the game has changed so much. The spacing of the game is spread so much because of the 3-point era that we're in now, where players have to cover much ground a lot faster, which leads to muscle pulls and things of that nature, which I don't disagree with. But here's my thing. This would be my counter to that. If the floor is getting spread so much, throw the ball in the paint. And you just said the Wizards were cold as hell from 3. But it's like you said, when teams aren't making the 3, it's like they forget how to play basketball. They forget how to dump the ball in the paint. And to me, it's really that simple.
That was the difference in the game. Literally, that was the difference in the game. The game was close at halftime. The game was close to the third quarter. Fourth quarter comes around. The Bulls stopped chucking threes and just went to Vucevic, baby hook, 4 feet. Baby hook, 4 feet. Baby hook, 2 feet. Andre Drummond right at the rim. And then they opened it up, and then the Wizards started trying to collapse down in the paint. Then the 3-point shots are wide open, and you can't leave like Zach LaVine in the 3-point.
Right.
You can't. And then they started hitting them, and that's all you got to do is see 1 or 2 go down, and all of a sudden here come the floodgates.
And this is why the Lakers were able to come back from down 27 against Dallas. The Lakers, the first quarter and a half, were 0 for 12. What Dallas had was plus 27 from the 3-point shot. Dallas had made 9. The Lakers had made 0. But the reason why the Lakers were able to come back into that game is because, and I don't understand this about teams in the NBA in general. I'll go back to last year's playoff match between the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies. Every single game, the Timberwolves had a 20-point lead in that damn series. And instead of throwing the ball in the paint to Karl Anthony Towns or, whoever you got down there, you kept on chucking threes. What Dallas did yesterday is they kept on chucking threes. And what did the Lakers do? Go down in the paint to AD. Go down to LeBron James in the paint. And while you're still chucking threes and missing, the Lakers are chipping away. Look, an NBA game is long. And if you're not going to play smart for the whole 48 minutes, then you can easily blow a 27-point lead. You can blow a 30-point lead. Leads today now aren't safe. Yes, the 3-point evolution has definitely taken hold in the game of basketball, but the reason why these leads are being blown is because for the same reason why these leads were built up, they're not maintained because people, again, forget how to play basketball. As Tony just said it, when the 3 is not going down, people forget how to play the damn game. If I get up by 27 points by chucking a bunch of threes, okay, fine. I happen to be hot at this point in time in the game, but I'm going to still run a consistent offense. I'm going to have a player where I can dump down in the post where even if a little run is made by the other team, which is always going to happen, it's the NBA, everybody makes a run. But even if they're hitting a couple of threes, as long as I'm countering it with something, I'm not going to counter them. How am I going to counter something while they hit 5 threes in a row and I'm trying to match it and I'm missing 5 threes in a row when you have like a 4-foot layup? I would take the 4-foot layup to do something as opposed to just kicking it out for 3 after 3 after 3. I was pissed when I saw a 3-on-1 transition, and instead of taking an easy 100% shot dunk, you kick it out for a 3 on a transition, on a fast break. That gets on my nerves. Do you agree or disagree?
By your theory, if you think about it from a mathematics standpoint, they took 5 threes, they hit them, you trying to match them, you miss, you down 15. If you take them 2s, you're only down 5.
Yep.
You're only down 5. You're down 2 possessions. So, again, it's that, and then the other thing that this NBA is absent, this defense.
It's terrible.
That's been the Pat Beverly effect. Not just him individually, but the fact that he going to defend his man, and then he's going to try to get you in a position that he forces you to play defense, because if not, you feel embarrassed that he actually playing the dog. Well, he's playing the Lonzo role, and him and Caruso together is terror. Him and Caruso together are terror on small, on that small ball lineup.
And Pat Bev doesn't give a damn who he plays. He could be a foot taller than him. Pat Bev is going to square him up.
Because Bill got shots, but Bill has struggled to get them shots. Literally, everywhere he went, there was somebody waiting. So, yeah. What surprised me is listening to Wizards commentary. I didn't realize Bulls' defensive rating is 8th in the league. I didn't realize the top 10 defensive ratings in the league are pretty much all in the East.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all, because you got Boston, who plays defense, Milwaukee, the Knicks are a very good defensive team. So that actually doesn't surprise me at all.
I got involved in a debate. I want to ask your opinion about this, about the defense, the way defenses are played. There was a blog, and I got involved with it when they were talking about the defenses today are tougher because zone. I said, I counter that because back in the day, 1 foot in the paint to get you legal defense.
Right.
And you literally, you couldn't just put one. Now they just kind of guard an area. They don't even have to be near the man. They just kind of guard an area, which is one of the reasons why Golden State appeared such a really good defensive team, because they would never really guard a man. They would just kind of guard an area and get in the passing lane type thing. I don't know which defense. Is hand check and no illegal defense, but you still, because this notion that zone allows you to double team, and the NBA you never could double team. Are you kidding me? You could hard double team. Now it's more so you're not the individuals. It's hard to tell who's a good defensive player unless they're a big and literally rejecting shots, because everybody else is just kind of playing a spot. And you're funneling to something else, and you're just playing passing lanes. That's a team concept versus individual, straight up, man-on-man defense.
Right.
Not many dudes that actually play that now. That can play that legit. They can play it for stretches, but for a whole game, no, sir.
So you're asking if I think that...
Which defense do you think is more effective? The one where the 7-footer legitimately is rim protection, along with hand check and illegal defense, or zone defense?
I think the one where you have a 7-footer as a rim protector and hand checking. I mean, zone defense is a good scheme in itself. I mean, yeah, the Warriors, you hit the nail on the head. The Warriors run a zone defense. They're very good at defending those areas on the floor. They only have 2 really good on-ball defenders, and that's Draymond and Iguodala. And Wiggins. Wiggins is a good on-ball defender.
Clay used to be that.
But yeah, Clay used to be that. Since the injury, no, because Clay was their second best defender before the injury. Clay was a brilliant, but we'll see if he ever gets back to that. But no, the defense in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s are way tougher. Way tougher. I mean, all you have to do is look at the scoreboard. You have to look at the scoreboard. But the only thing I will say is this. When I say look at the scoreboard, you remember those 80s games in the Western Conference or even in the finals where the scores would be in the 1-teens and the 120s?
Yeah.
Mind you, those were with predominantly 2-point shots.
Right.
So
yeah, teams like Phoenix.
Yeah. Well, even the Lakers.
And the Lakers and even the Spurs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Look, I can't put.
Tim
I
Hardaway
cannot
and them
put.
used to drop 120.
Huh?
Tim Hardaway and them used to drop 120.
Yeah, whether he was with Golden State or whether he's with, well, no, more so with Golden State, because when he was with, when he was with Zoe in Miami, they were rough and rugged defense, worn with the Knicks and the Bulls all the time. But I can't take any defense from today's era of basketball and say it's tougher than, I mean, the toughest defense that I ever saw was the 04 Detroit Pistons. That was the toughest defense I ever saw. And when I'm talking about them motherfuckers hold you to under 70. and the shoot and the play, and I'm talking about in the era.
You think they were the best?
For a single season,
they was doing the same thing.
But for a single season, for a single year, that single season, that Detroit Pistons team, because I'm gonna be honest with you, the team that I think was second best, or at least in that conversation, was in the same season. The team they beat to get to the NBA Finals, the Indiana Pacers that year. You know, that single season defensive team with Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace and Tayshaun Prince, the length, the athleticism, you know, Rip was more of the, and when it comes to defense, Rip was the weakest link. Rip Hamilton was the weakest link of where if any time you had to play zone, it would be to benefit him. But that defense was tough, man. They were like, we talk about the Knicks and the Bulls in the 90s and things like that, and they were great. The Bad Boys Pistons, and they were great. But I'm talking about a single season defensive team. That 04 Pistons team, to me, was the best. I mean, those motherfuckers they were as close to, they were like the Ravens 2000 defense. It was hard to score on them motherfuckers. There was one person who I saw that could religiously get buckets on that defense, and that was Shaquille O'Neal. That's the reason why they took the Lakers out in 5 so easily. Wasn't because they could stop Shaq. They knew they couldn't stop Shaq. But that was the best I ever saw a team defend Kobe Bryant. That Kobe had one good game, the game we won. The rest of the games, you're throwing Tayshaun, you're throwing Rip, even throwing Chauncey coming off the bench, Lindsey Hunter, Corliss Williamson, Eldon Campbell, dogs. I'm talking about on defense, and they smoked the Lakers' boots, and they smoked the Lakers' boots. Everybody except Shaq. Shaq still averaged 35 that series because it was like, okay, we can't stop him. You could put Ben Wallace on with Shaq one-on-one all you want to. Shaq will win 99 out of 100 times. You could put Rasheed Wallace on Shaq. Shaq will win 95 out of 100 times. But it's that other nigga. It's that number 8 that we can imply the Jordan rule tactic on him. And then the other ones, Gary Payton washed up, Karl Malone washed up, and the rest of your supplemental parts, nah. I mean, that was just my opinion. That was tough. But I would take, but today's era's defense, no. I mean, come on now. Didn't we just see a 177, 176 game a couple days ago?
Because you said it. I went there. So the actual teams with the best defensive ratings ever in NBA history. Number one is, hold on, let me scroll back down. I went scrolling already. The Boston Celtics. I know you're going to say this don't count, but 1963-64 Boston Celtics.
I mean, you're talking about before color TV was the wave of the future.
Hey, look, you can't take it away from them because it'd be like a team today mimicking, say, the Bears and saying, hey, that was back when,
Oh, well, okay. I'm not going to discount it because, but let's look.
Guess what the second best defensive team was? The 1964-65 Boston.
Okay. Do they crack the top 10 because they won 8 straight? Do they have the
number 3 team is the 61-62? So I'm gonna go to the team that's not the Celtics. How about that?
Okay. Or let's go to 1980 and from 1980 to now.
Hold on, I'm gonna see if this list actually has it. The Minneapolis Lakers hit
George Mike. Come on now, come on.
Hey, look, man.
There wasn't even a 3-point. There wasn't even a shot clock.
No, here you go. Number 6, the 2003-2004 San Antonio Spurs. Defensive rating 94.1. League average defensive rating was 102.9. They were 94.1 in 2003. 2004 season.
Well, that's the year the Pistons won the title. What was their defensive rating?
I'm looking to see if they made the list. That's the thing. They got to make the list. I'll skip 7 because that's the Celtics again. Number 8 is the Celtics again, but they're the 2007-2008.
The KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen Celtics. Yeah, they were a great defensive team too.
They were 9 defensive rating.
They were a great defensive team too.
Your next is the 92-93 Knicks, 99.7 rating.
I'm just telling you, I'm not looking at measures. I'm talking about the eye test, sir. You can throw the numbers at me all you want. I'm talking about the eye test.
Well, the metrics thing here, they're factoring in pretty much every defensive statistic. Like literally, whether it's defensive rebounds, blocks, steals, all of that. That's how they get defensive ratings. And then the points scored, the points given up. So you can't do better. Those are all the statistics. Here's your Pistons. They're number 11.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing. I'm looking at the same thing. You talking about the Bleacher Report?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at that too.
Yeah, they made it, and then the Spurs again in 90. I guess so, with David Robinson and
David Robinson and Tim Duncan, absolutely. Yeah.
You ain't getting no paint stuff off.
No.
Then the Pacers, you were right. Here's the Pacers, 2013-14 Pacers.
Yeah, that with Roy Hibbert and David West in them.
That's not the year that you said.
No, the I was talking about was the same year as the Pistons when they had Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, Steven Jackson.
What in the blue hell? The Spurs are here again. Yeah, they was pretty good defensively. They played a great team defense. There's the Celtics again. There's the 69-70 Knicks. 74-75 Bullets. The Bulls at 2010-2011.
That was Derrick Rose's Bulls. Yeah, I remember that. That was a team that they finished number 1 in the East. That's the year. That was the year Derrick Rose won MVP.
Boozer ain't play no D.
Huh?
That's amazing because Boozer ain't play no D.
Well, I mean, that was the year D Rose won MVP. Was Boozer on that team?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was.
But you still had Joakim Noah who did play defense. Todd Gibson did play defense.
Fouled or miss a shot. Stop yelling.
I hear your boy Derrick Rose might be getting bought out and going to the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, I saw that too. I mean, it would have been a feel-good story to bring the boy home, but, you know.
He want to play for a championship contender. I'm not even trying to be funny.
He's no playing time, because right now Kobe White's a better player.
I was wondering, is he still hurt? Because he wasn't getting no run with the Knicks. So when they are chanting his name to come in the game, I'm like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah, that's the story of my boy. I mean, injury. There's that brother that should just shut the hell up and let his brother heal and play basketball. But, you know, that's another thing that kind of happened to Derrick Rose. When you get these siblings that run their mouth organizations say, this dude ain't worth the trouble. Now, that's ultimately kind of what happened with Derrick Rose.
Yeah,
they got impatient because of the injury, but their patience was wore thin because his brother just kept running his mouth. Like, how you gonna run your mouth and your brother can't even stay on the court?
And that was his. I mean, once he got that first injury, that was like the floodgates opened.
Stupid injury, bruh. Tom Thibodeau with his, I gotta play you 48 minutes, even if we up 16 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter against the Sixers.
Yep.
You're sitting down. You sit your starters down.
Yeah, Steph Curry hadn't taken over the NBA yet.
Yeah, you might have won a championship because you could have beat Miami.
Oh yeah.
But wasn't to be. So it is what it is. It is what it is. That's pretty much that. The modern era teams it's largely Spurs. Yeah, I'm surprised the Bad Boys didn't make it.
Right.
I'm surprised Patrick Ewing's Knicks ain't make it.
What what year Knicks did you say were on there?
The Knicks were hold on, I gotta pull that back up because I closed it. Or maybe it was the Patrick Ewing Knicks. Yeah, they did make it. I'm sorry. They were the 92-93.
Oh yeah, that's the year they finished number 1 in the East. That was the series with the Bulls where they blew Game 5, where Charles Smith, who got fouled at least twice on all of those shots, but be that as it may, they weren't able to close the deal against the Bulls.
Yeah, ain't nobody trying to hear that trash.
It's the truth. I mean, look, I remember the game. I was rooting for the Bulls. I'm just keeping it 100. He was fouled at least twice. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't blame the no call. I mean, you're 2 feet away. You're literally an inch away from the rim. Dunk it. Tell him get the fuck off of you.
Here's the trick thing for you. I found another that broke this down. The best ever defensive rating, single seasons, broken down. The Bullets, 74-75.
Oh, Wes Unseld boys.
73-74 Bulls.
Wes Unseld boys.
73-74, no surprise, Lou Alcindor. The Pistons, 73-74. So the 73 seems like 73 between 73 and 75. These are the best defensive teams ever.
Yeah, when the NBA was about to go in the toilet, when they was about to file bankruptcy, until a god named Magic Johnson and Larry Bird came to save them.
Wow, only the Spurs cracked the top 10, and they cracked the top 11 twice. The Spurs are the only modern era team to be up in that statistic. Everything else is 73 to 76. Yeah, 73 to 76. The next team is, again, the Spurs in 98, 99, and then the Pistons in 03 and 04.
Well, where do you think
they're like number 15 down the list?
Well, where do you think your Chicago Bulls are going to finish this season?
Honestly, it's hard to tell. I'm gonna say this. They seem to be doing exactly, or at least figuring it out in these second halves, that if them 3-point shots ain't falling, go inside. The ball movement. One thing I'll say about Patrick Beverley, beyond the defense, I watched him in both of these games this season here. He's handling the ball. He brings it up. Overall, when you look at the stat thing, he's not still in the stat book. But when he goes to set that ball up, to set people up for plays, he literally will call them. You can hear him, especially in Chicago State. You can hear him. He'll tell DeMar, come, as to come to me, rather than you just stand there. Since Lonzo went out, that's what they do. A whole lot of standing around watching.
It's a damn shame what's happening with Lonzo, man. He hadn't played a lick this year. They ruled him out for the rest of the year. I hope he gets right. I do.
Yeah, I don't know. I've actually just kind of forgot about him because you don't know what you're going to get in the future if that dude will ever play basketball again at this point. His father swears he will, but we shall see. You got you've had a whole season, and you're going to have off season to get right.
One time, Stephen A. Smith was right about Magic Johnson. Was right about Magic Johnson. He told Magic Johnson to draft De'Aaron Fox instead of Lonzo Ball, and he was absolutely fucking right about that. He was.
But that's what we're missing. We missed that small ball defensive stopper, but also because it's become the DeMar and Levine one-on-one, everybody else stand around, park the corner and watch show. And if either one of their shots aren't falling, you're not going to win. Well, Patrick Beverley is setting a tone where these people, the point guards, even Kobe White, they're moving the ball. They're doing the inside-out game. And yeah, you will still get them one-on-ones, but only when it's advantageous. And the trip part, even with DeMar, these last couple games, instead of trying to shoot over them double teams, he'll go ahead and pass that ball. Look for the cutter. He was doing that in San Antonio, but then his head got big because, I can shoot as much as I want here in Chicago. In San Antonio, what was he doing? He was a distributor. He was still scoring, but not quite as much. He was a distributor. He was a balanced player. So go back to that. They'll be just fine. They still got a rebound. That's the thing. They got the crash them boards, and it ain't a thing when the shot go up, you start running the other way. You got the offensive rebounds as a team thing. Everybody can't run back the other way and leave one man to try to get a rebound.
All right, well.
Unless you got Shaq. If you got Shaq, yeah, leave him.
Oh, yeah.
If you got Rodman, leave him.
Yeah.
But anybody else, man, you need to stay back and get a rebound because some of these, they're easy rebounds, but because you left, and they're down at 3-on-1. one guy. He's not going to get that board. So your defensive rebounds are going to be terrible. You don't get no offensive rebounds that way either.
Well, I just wanted to pick your brain on some basketball before my phone completely dies out. But I mentioned something to Tony the other day. We talked the other day. I enjoyed the hell out of Ant-Man Quantumania. And give us your opinion on Ant-Man. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Trash.
Oh, no.
It's trash, brother. It's trash. If you don't know the story, it's trash. And even from the MCU standpoint, it's trash.
Tony's a
Even
comic book
from
purist.
The MCU standpoint, it is trash because it was a poorly told story. This dude is talking, I killed the Avengers over and over and over. Again, it was okay introducing him, but they should have introduced him in more of a way like Thanos, because Kang is to be feared like that. And at the end of the day, ultimately, any way you look at it, Ant-Man beat him. And that's not canon. That's not something you would ever see in a comic. It takes Avengers team to beat Kang.
Tony is a comic book purist. I look at Kang the Conqueror as on the same level as Thanos, especially if spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Ant-Man, then fast forward a few seconds. But at the end results, after the credits, when you see a whole bunch of Kang the Conquerors, he is going to be a problem in this next phase of the MCU cinematically. Now, Tony, again, is a comic book purist.
For your listeners, if they are going to see it, well, if you're going to see it, watch Loki first. Watch Loki first, because that actually introduces Kang. The series Loki, He Who Remains, is Kang. And he's talking about his variants and talking about, my variants are worse than me, way worse than me. So that gives you a concept of what threat this dude is, and then it ties into Spider-Man No Way Home in the sense that actually ties in a couple of different ways, but Spider-Man No Way Home, when Doctor Strange and Peter did that spell and opened up those multiverses, notice of that. King took notice of that because he's one of the few people that actually travels those things. Time, multiverses, different universes. All those Kangs are from different realities.
Now, you didn't think Spider-Man No Way Home was a bad movie, didn't you? Did you?
No, I didn't think. I didn't think that was.
Okay, all right. Woo. Okay, just making sure. I was watching that shit last night. That to me was right up there with Endgame as far as great movies.
I'm not the only person that said that about Quantumania. The reviews on it are pretty bad too. In the same,
it's taken a precipitous dip in the last week as far as box office.
The story, it's a Marvel movie, so it's gonna make money.
Well, no, but I'm saying is like it took a drop. It opened up as number one.
Movie.
But Cocaine Bear did a lot of damage to it.
Given the scale of what Kang is, it was a poorly told story, and Kang is one of those characters you got to explain way more than Thanos, because you looking at all these different Kangs, and again, if you don't watch Loki, none of it makes sense. And even after you watch Loki, you still got to read up on Kang, like, okay, who is this dude, and why is there so many of them, and why are they against each other, and all of these different things, because that's a whole thing. It was easy to understand from the comic standpoint because incrementally you're trying to do this in a 2-hour period.
This is true. All right. Well,
we got to remember early on. Well, you don't know, but early on, Kang, for the people that don't know, in the comic, Kang was defeated and killed, but then Kang would pop back up, and it was always this impression given that somehow he survived. No, it was a different Kang that popped back up. So you can kill this guy, but
you have to deal with somebody else that's worse.
Somebody else. And yeah, that Kang may be worse. He may be least. He may not care, may not have the same agenda. You don't know. You don't know. But one thing's for certain, two things for sure. Every now and then they do agree. All of them agree on one thing. And that's what the Avengers Kang Dynasty is going to be about. That they do on one thing. So,
well, definitely something I'm going to look out for. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Ant-Man Quantumania, he says...
For you, sir.
Huh?
There is no guarantee. I thought about this. What Kang was talking about, are you the one with the hammer?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. He did
I
say
thought no one considered that maybe it was Captain America that Kang saw traveling through time to return them stones.
That's true.
Because he made the reference about killing Avengers, and everyone assumed, okay, yeah, he killed Thor, and so it had to have been Thor with the hammer. Maybe it was Captain America that he saw traveling through time with them stones.
Well, he said, you don't know what's coming. A whole lot of me. And if you watch the end of that, spoiler alert, it's a whole lot of him.
Yeah. Avengers has his hand in so many different pots. You see that, right?
Yep.
Like that dude is in. That dude about to be. He heading on the Samuel L. Jackson path. Every 3 months, he gonna have a movie out with him in it.
Yep.
Because I haven't watched Devotion yet. I plan on watching that, but I haven't watched it yet.
Well, all right, dude. Wanted to pick your brain about some basketball and get your Marvel intake, so I will get at you soon, brother.
Okay, man.
All right. Later.
Later.
My man, Tony. Excuse me for hearing the buzzing going on. That was battery on the phone going dead. You know, I'm not a nationally syndicated podcast. Don't look to be. If it happens, okay, cool. It just depends on how much they want me to watch my language. Because if that's the case, we'll have a problem. Oh, okay. But now that my man Tony done got off the line and he, gave us the education, the basketball history, always great knowledge, and his movie critic. Tony needs to be a movie critic, especially about the MCU, because he's such a comic book purist. But I do have Cud and David on the line. Wasn't able to get Sean back on the line because Sean got some things he got to do. But D, I was explaining to you, yes, Sean and Calvin had a no-holds-bar football discussion.
Yeah, it's interesting. Football over. They argued about nothing.
Oh, no, sir. You had to hear that one.
Interesting. Well, I was busy taking a shit, so, it couldn't be more important than that.
Well, I don't disagree with you there.
Well, yeah, I want to be sitting here with clogged up bowels.
No, sometimes you got to take you a good shit.
And it was a pleasant one at that.
All right. Well, I'm not going to keep you on the phone long. I just wanted to talk to you about I don't know if you heard about the boxing match yesterday between Tommy Fury and and Jake Paul.
And Jake Paul, yeah, look, I'm glad that dummy lost. Look, as everybody's been saying, when he fights an actual boxer, he's going to get his head handed to him. And I'm glad.
Yes, that's what I've been saying for the last 2 years as well. And I guess that's a spoiler alert. Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury yesterday in their 8-round fight in Saudi Arabia, which actually was a huge event because you had stars there, likes of Kevin Hart, Mike Tyson, Deontay Wilder, a lot of boxing heads was there. Like I said, Kevin Hart, Mike Tyson, Deontay Wilder. I'm trying to think of the boy now. I'm having another brain fart. The dude who just won the unified the 135, Devin Haney. Okay, yes, Devin Haney was there. So it was a big event. But yes, Tommy Fury, who was again a pure boxer, been around boxing his whole life. Tyson Fury's little brother.
His little brother.
Been around boxing his whole life. Jake Paul finally got in the ring with somebody who wasn't a washed-up UFC fighter.
Or has been, or an old retired NBA fighter, MMA fighter, all that. An actual boxer.
An actual boxer, and Jake Paul lost.
He got boxed. That's what happened. He got boxed.
And it was a split decision. So for the judge who had Jake Paul winning the fight, clearly was probably told to score the fight for Jake Paul.
No, he need to go ahead and kill himself. That's what he needs to do. He's never actually scored a boxing match. He might have been one of them ones who scored one of his earlier fights. No, he was one of them judges that scored the Nate Robinson fight.
No.
That was an easy one to call.
Yeah, because that didn't come down to the judges.
Yeah, they would do that. Well, he's out cold. All right, well, I guess he wins this one.
Yeah. I mean, yes, Jake Paul scored an 8th round knockdown, but honestly, by the time which was really more of a balance shot, I don't think Tommy Fury was ever hurt, but by the time it got to the final round, I watched the fight. I had Tommy Fury up 5-2.
Look, man, I didn't even want to watch the fight. I just knew that anytime Drake bets on you to win a fight, you go ahead and cancel Christmas. You losing that fight.
What, Drake bet on Jake Paul?
Jake Drake bet $500,000 that Jake Paul was going to win that fight.
Oh, that ain't shit to Drake.
It's not, but at the same time, if Drake betting on you to win a fight, Drake ain't never been in a fight in his whole life. If Drake betting on you in a fight, you go ahead and shoot yourself in the foot. But you lose. You lose. Sorry, you gonna lose. That's just how that rolls. You're gonna lose that fight. That's just what it came down to. The fact that judge even scored it remotely close. He need to go ahead and turn in his credentials. He need to turn in his refrigerator. And he shouldn't be allowed to eat for a year.
I'm weak. Because the other two judges who had the fight scored for Tommy Fury had Tommy Fury winning the fight handily.
And that's what it looked like it was. I watched the YouTube recaps, which was only like 2 minutes long, because that's what it looked like the fight was. About 2 minutes long.
Well, I watched the whole fight. I watched the whole fight from start to finish. And I don't see how ESPN judges had the fight a draw. I'm like, what the fuck were y'all watching? Like, Tommy Fury clearly beat Jake Paul. It really wasn't even close. I mean, the knockdown made it interesting. When Tommy Fury went down, I said, oh Lord, I thought he was gonna get robbed. I thought he was going to get robbed because of Jake Paul's popularity. Didn't realize how popular Tommy Fury was, though, because if you watch the fight, the fight was in Saudi Arabia. The fans were cheering for Tommy Fury.
Well, I mean, the little brother of Tyson Fury, I mean, why not?
And this is, they're going to be quick to mention that he's the half-brother of Tyson Fury because they got the same daddy. Tyson Fury daddy found some melanin. What's the word? Melanin?
Melanin or melatonin?
No, he found him some melanin. He found him a melanated woman to have another kid with. Because when I looked at Tommy Fury, I said, wait a minute, he's Tyson Fury's brother? I'm like, bro is not white. I said,
he's brown.
Huh?
He's a little brown.
Yeah, I said, bro is not a white boy.
Yeah, Tommy Fury is clearly of brown descent.
Yeah. Oh, when I looked it up, I can't pronounce the name of what his mother is, but his mother is like, let me see. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, his mother is not. I tell you what, his mother is not Caucasian.
Good job, boy.
Hey, you said you're happy. We heard it on the podcast. Congratulations.
Yeah, he happy. But Tyson Fury, on the other hand,
he's pure D Caucasian.
Yeah, he's Caucasus, from the mountains of Caucasian. He's Caucasus. Plain and simple.
Let's see.
It's interesting. You see, they want to run it back, though.
Yeah, they said they want to run it back, and I mean, if they run it back, good for them. I think it'll be the same result. Actually, I think Tommy Fury will go for the knockout. Tell me how to pronounce this. Muritin? That's what Tommy Fury's mother is Muritin?
I guess.
Mauritin.
Yeah, Muritin sounds about right.
Well, look, let me just tell you this. Look, like Tyson Fury, while he's heavyweight champion of the world, looks like he can be a just lovable drunk. Tommy Fury, not trying to be funny, Tommy Fury looks like he should be a model. Like,
I mean, he's a good-looking dude.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that he was a UK reality show star, I said, that kind of doesn't surprise me. But the fact is that he's been around boxing since he was 6 years old. He's a pure boxer. He's a natural boxer. And we both said as soon as Jake Paul get in the ring with a real boxer, he's going to lose.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Look at Jake Paul's actual boxing stance. I mean, we both boxing nuts. We've been boxing our whole lives, damn near ourselves. Look at his stance. I mean, he can't backpedal. He's awkward for a big dude. I mean, he can't move. If it's not for the fact he got size, he got reach, he got a little bit of power, but when you get him on that back foot and he takes some shots, He's gonna take them shots and he's gonna go down. And he can't move. He's awkward when he moves.
I will say this: Jake Paul's boxing skills have improved every fight. I mean, as far as when you look at the Nate Robinson fight, where you just have one guy who's a basketball player who doesn't know nothing about nothing boxing for real, just coming in with his chin wide open, fine. And you're boxing, Ben Yursick and Tyron Woodley. While Tyron Woodley had a little bit of skill, but they're over the hill. They washed up UFC fighters. His
but
boxing.
Tyron Woodley was a wrestler. He wasn't a striker. He was a wrestler.
Right.
And now Anderson Silva. Now that on the other hand, okay, a little bit of credit there.
But at the same time, Anderson Silva is 47 years old.
Yeah, fair enough. So I mean, again, it's one of those things where if he fights a boxer, he's gonna get beat. If you're fighting anybody else who's not a boxer in a boxing ring, like that's what tripped me out about Jake Paul. He said he's gonna beat Mike Tyson. I don't care what age you're fighting Mike Tyson at. Mike Tyson, why are you poking the bear?
Oh yeah, no, please. If Jake Paul got in the ring with Mike Tyson now, Mike Tyson would knock him out inside of 2 rounds.
Mike Tyson would have knocked him out inside of 2 minutes. You would have seen the old dreadful Mike. He would have ate his children. He would have ate his heart. All praise be to Allah.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. But
that Mike.
But you hear Tank Davis and Andy Garcia are gonna fight, or Ryan Garcia, I'm sorry, are gonna fight April 15th. That's gonna be interesting because I definitely that's gonna be a good fight. But the fight that I'm waiting for, that the world is waiting for, is Crawford versus Spence. Boxing is doing itself a disservice again by not making this fight, but we'll see.
Yes, of course. But yeah, only time will tell with that. Hopefully, they don't want to wait until both them niggas is like 55 and 60, or one of them done been locked up.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Well, good thing though. John Jones is back.
Yeah, I did hear about that. That Bones Jones is back. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like that's legit. And I'm giving you shouts out to him for finally getting clean.
Well, hey, now he can clean out the UFC.
He's got some steady competition. This fight coming up is it's going to be a good test for him. It's going to be a good. I can't remember who he fight, but it's going to be a good welcoming back for him.
I'm gonna say, don't get me to line. I don't keep up with the UFC, but I just wanted to hit you up. Like I said, I have to get you on the line with Sean next week. Once I send the podcast to you, you can listen to him and Calvin. That was something special. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, 2 of them niggas bitching like old women.
You said what?
2 of them niggas bitching like old women. About me, yeah. Thinking about my toe hurt. Like,
you better stop before they come. You better stop before they come at you next.
Them niggas ain't doing nothing. Them niggas they complaining about the Eagles and then Calvin time and nothing.
Well, all right then, brother. I'm gonna get at you soon.
All right, now you hit me up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. What'd you say?
Take your time, Pippin.
All right, got you covered, bruh.
Later.
Cutting David, had to hear from Cutting David. Really wanted to get Sean and David on the phone, particularly after that interview with Calvin. Just so I could explain to David with Sean on the phone how Sean went at Calvin the way I think that Russell Westbrook will go at the Lakers the next time that he plays them as a member of the Los Angeles Clippers. But with that being said, wet a buzzer, wet a buzzer, wet a buzzer. Okay. Yes. Now the sun starts to poke from the clouds in this Richmond, Virginia sky. I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Got some dad stuff that I got to do in about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours. London is going to her first Girl Scout meeting. Yay, that's my pui. That's my pre-chops. Plus, she has made a B honor roll. Matter of fact, her last report card was 4 A's and 1 B. That my girl. Roman doing his thing too. Just need to tighten up on the math, but you know it is what it is. But definitely don't forget to hit that subscription button and become part of the Sports Plus Life family. It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns. You guys got to run this episode back once you get it because this was a classic. But I'm out this beer. Peace and I love you.